High school sports teams are known for their unity. No matter what's happening on the field, they stick together. Players, coaches, students, parents. One big family. That's why Mountain West Bank is so proud to sponsor Idaho high school sports. Today, tomorrow, together.
Some days, I choose the most difficult trail. I test my limits.
Taking the hard path isn't always easy, but I know it's the right way.
When I get done with my ride and I look back at what I've just accomplished, I feel amazing.
It takes courage and determination to do hard things.
But you can do them.
Quitting tobacco and vaping is possible.
You decide when. We'll show you how. Learn more at projectfilter.org or call 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
We're Valley-wide cooperative. For 100 years, we've been your first choice for residential and commercial propane, fuels, oils, and lubricants. We service HVAC, install water heaters, propane tanks, and accessories. And yes, we'll even deliver right where you need it. Because for us, serving is more than a job, it's a way of life. We are proud to employ your neighbors and to be a cornerstone of your community. We're Valley-wide. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. We're here for you.
My name's Tyler. I'm a pharmacist and I live in Caldwell. A reason why I got vaccinated is because I wasn't just thinking about me and my health, is others around me. I'm a father, husband. I want to be there for my family. And then the other main choice is because of my parents are still alive, gratefully. They're both in their late 70s, both have major health conditions, and I wanted to protect them, so I chose to get the vaccine right away.
Vaping sucks you in quick, and the more you vape, the harder it is to quit. Not to mention all the chemicals and health problems. That's why thousands of teens are joining My Life, My Quit. Visit mylifemyquit.com or text Start My Quit to 36072.
Hybrids. Toyota. Let's go places.
We're Valley-wide country store. For 100 years, we've been your #1 choice for food, fuel, farm supplies, and just about everything else you could need to get you through your day. We know you work until the job is done, and so do we. For gas on the go, or a little extra to help you get down the road, you can count on us. We are proud to employ your neighbors and to be a cornerstone of your community. We're Valley-wide. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. We're here for you.
No matter what life holds, we'll be there for you. Mountain West Bank. Today, tomorrow, together.
Good Friday afternoon to you, ladies and gentlemen. We are coming to you live from Mountain View High School. A SIC showdown here tonight between Mountain View, sitting at 1-2 overall, 1-0 in SIC play. Despite the 1-2 record, the Mavs still sit in 4th in the state media poll. Tonight, the Borah Lions pay the Mavs a visit. Borah sitting at 2-2 overall, but they have lost their last 2 in conference play. This is Treasure Valley Game Night presented by Mountain West Bank, brought to you by our major advertising partners, Project Filter, Valley-wide Cooperative, the Idaho Department of Transportation, the Idaho Department of Health and Welfare, Next Steps Idaho, and your local Toyota dealer. Also want to thank our power boosters tonight, the College of Western Idaho, Evade Pest Management, Big Judd's Meridian, Pacific Residential Mortgage, Metro Appraisals, and Meridian Plumbing. Good evening once again, everybody. My name is Lucas Gephardt alongside my broadcast partner, Ryan Luke. Ryan, first time we've worked together. This should be a fun one. We'll find out a lot tonight about what these two teams have to bring to the table. Mountain View, you look at them, you say, hey, they have a 1-2 record, but they're still 4th in the state media poll. Borah, on the other hand, it's kind of been a tale of 2 seasons. They opened up this season with a 21-0 win over Capital, 41-0 over Timberline, but then a couple losses in back-to-back weeks.
Yeah, and the state of Idaho is somewhat of a tiered system. You know, you have 5A, and then you have, you know, we'll call them honorable losses, honorable defeats, and then you also have some wins where you look at it and say, well, you should have won, that type of thing. And the first 2 wins of the season, I think going into this, you maybe looked at Capital and said, what do they really have? You know, Borah facing Capital, what does Capital have? And it turns out, you know, there may be kind of a rebuild sort of year. Game 2, you come in against Timberline. Well, Timberline had a tough outing versus Boise, and Borah made them pay. But then you start moving up into maybe some of those Tier 2s, the next level. And when you're playing in Nampa and then on to, say, Acuna and then a Nampa, and you see those 2 games, and they're close ones, and you see what do we really have. Now, the Mavericks on the other side of the ball, Mountain View Mavericks, tend to be a little bit different. They're a legacy team. They're a good team that has done very well in the past. They're coming off a coaching change, and they've lost some close games, and those are very competitive games, and they showed a lot of grit, and they showed a lot of guts. The latest loss to Rocky was a tough one till the end, and then Rocky pulled away, and that's the number 1 team in the state. So you have 2 types of teams here going tonight, and we'll see directionally. This will be a pretty good litmus test to see where we stand.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think we're going to have a good one tonight. We'll step aside for just a second and bring you kickoff right after this here on IdahoSports.com.
My name's Tyler. I'm a pharmacist, and I live in Caldwell. A reason why I got vaccinated is because I wasn't just thinking about me and my health, is others around me. I'm a father, husband. I want to be there for my family. And then the other main choice is because of my parents are still alive, gratefully. They're both in their late 70s, both have major health conditions, and I wanted to protect them, so I chose to get the vaccine right away.
Back here at Mountain View High School, a beautiful reminiscence of our national anthem by the Mountain View Marching Band here in Meridian, Idaho. This should be a good one. Mountain View, obviously out of the West Ada School District. Both these schools, 5A schools, out of District 3. And a bit of like reshuffling, I guess, in the SIC over the last couple years. Obviously, this conference split into pods a few years ago. Second season that we have the Rivers Division, but back in 2019, Borah played over in the East, Mountain View over in the West. There was a long period of time, about 4 or 5 years, where these schools didn't play each other. Now, obviously, back in the same pod together. Mountain View, a couple of tough losses to start their year, but they still think that they have the ability to win this pod.
Yeah, and I would say talent-wise, yes, they do. They have the ability to do it. And not only that, competition-wise, they're playing not in the same as Meridian, Rocky Mountain, and Meridian, Rocky, and Eagle. So they don't have to play in that division, which is great, and that's good for them. And I think it's odd because if you look at the district lines and you look at where the schools kids go, you do the Rocky. Some of these kids played against each other. If you're a Rocky and you're at Mountain View, but then turns out they're in the river. So apparently that's what it is for them. Now the reality is it matters / doesn't matter because there's always a chance to get in. Because they're using somewhat of the RPI type system, your strength, and they have at-large bids to get into the state tournament. So there's a very, very extremely high, like on a scale of 1 to 10, 9.9 chance that they win and get into the state playoffs. I think that's a foregone conclusion. But the reality is we need to see more now what they're going to do in the state playoffs.
Yeah, and I think you look at the SIC, obviously there's a ton of teams in this conference. Typically in a year, you'll get maybe 4, sometimes 5 teams out of the SIC to the state playoffs. And for Borah, this is a big game for Borah tonight because if you look at their schedule, if they don't win tonight, next week you have Hawaii, who has proven to be pretty decent, kind of a turnaround year for them. Then you have Boise. You close the regular season with Eagle. That's
tough sledding.
Yeah.
That's tough sledding. So Borah, we're going to test their mettle tonight to see what they're made of. And they got to keep it close. They got to get – they love to have the win. We'll put it that way. Everybody would have the win. Love to have the win.
Yeah, just getting things kicked off here at Mountain View. Mountain View kicking things off to begin the night. Goes into the end zone for a touchback. The kicker, Connington, boots that one right along the E of the view down into the end zone to our right. So Borah will begin things here tonight with the football at the 20-yard line, moving from your right to your left, and they will start in between the hash marks. Here comes the senior quarterback for Borah, Corbin McCarney.
And Mountain View tends to run somewhat of that. They run a 4-3 defense. They'll stand a guy up at times. With that 4-3, they want to stop the run initially. That's what they look to do, make you one-dimensional.
McCarney will start in the shotgun. It's going to be a handoff. Parker Rushton is going to be the running back tonight for the Lions. He is the bell cow back. Ball did go on the turf, but it was after Rushton was down. It's going to be a gain of about 3 yards, maybe 4 or 5 to start things out. So it's going to be second down and about 5.
Yeah, opening carry, you just want to get a feel for the game, take your first hit, and that's what they did as a nice, easy handoff off the right side.
They go back to Rushton, second down, working far sideline. Not as much room this time. It's going to be about 3 yards. So third down coming up here for Borah. It'll be a third and about 3.
Yeah, 3rd and 3, and they're testing Mountain View a little bit at this point, seeing, hey, look, we got some big guys up front trying to move the line of scrimmage. But not only that, again, settle into the flow of the game. You're playing in a loud stadium with a really, really good crowd. And we talked about this before. The environment here at Mountain View is fantastic. So just running the ball and taking care of it.
McCarney throwing on third down. This one almost intercepted. It's broken up by the Mavs, and a 4th down and 2 coming up. And for the moment, the Borah offense staying on the field, and now they go into a punt formation.
Yeah, that was unfortunate, too, because a couple things happened on that one. He was running a slant route on the side. His receiver needed to cut in front of it and make a hard move to box out the defender. The defender broke on the ball. The other thing was he locked on it. He knew exactly where he was going to throw right out. If you're going to do that, you have to get the ball out a little quicker.
Borah punts this thing away. It's a good one. All the way back to the 25 before the Mavs are able to receive that one in a return of about 10 yards. So that is where the Mountain View offense will start, as Maxwell Patwell was the return man that time for the Mavs. So here comes the Mountain View offense. Now this an offense. They won last time out at Hawaii, 35-31. It was their first win of the year. The Mavs started out with a couple losses to 2 very good teams here, not only in the SIC, but the 5A conference, Meridian and Mountain View. Those are 2 teams that look really good to start the year.
Yeah, and Meridian, Rocky's ranked number 1 in the state, and they have that for a reason. A bunch of D1 recruits on the team, and they're very explosive. And then you have Meridian, which in my opinion is a better team this year than they were last year, and they were the 3rd-place team. As a matter of fact, they played the semifinals versus Rigby, lost in triple overtime to a game that they very well could have won, and to me that was the state championship. So you're looking at a potential returning state champion, and Meridian is that team that could be the dark horse. For Mountain View to lose, as they did, that's an honorable loss. You'll take that and say, we learned a lot, and we'll be able to grow from that as the season goes on, because we have played the best that's out there in the state of Idaho.
So there's a holding call on the punt return for Mountain View. They're still trying to figure out where to spot the ball, but it will not be at the 35, as we previously stated. 10:48 to go, first quarter. We're scoreless. And now they're correcting the foul. So the holding was actually on the defense. So it was actually on Borah, not Mountain View. So now the ball is going to move up to the 40-yard line. So that's where Mountain View will start their first offensive possession. It'll be a handoff to start things out. This is going to be a gain of 4. The running back, Justin McGee, the junior, 6'1", 190.
And Mountain View can afford to do some conservative play calling, and that's for a couple reasons. Number one, we know that Mountain View can score. Very athletic team, and just handing the ball off, you don't lose anything by doing that.
And flag on this, second down and 6 plays. So it was a good game for the Mavs, but this one likely coming back. It would have been a first down. It will be a first down if this stands. Instead, it will be a holding. As they get Aiden McGinnis, the offensive lineman. So what was a second down and 6, now going to be a second and long for Mountain View. 10:20 to go, first quarter. And the quarterback for the Mavs, Dawson Wall, the senior, 6'4", 205. Hands this one off again. This one not going anywhere. Straight up the middle, no gain on the play.
Yeah, and Dawson Wall, he's a big, strong kid. He got a really good, lively arm. He makes a lot of those throws that you see at the next level, and we're talking some of those 10, 15-yard outs. But, first game of the season, starting running back goes down for Mountain View. Then thrust into action is Justin McGee, who is the backup quarterback. So now he's taking the bulk of all the carries.
Third down and long coming up for Mountain View. 3rd and 15. Wall back to pass. Has time. Now rolling in the pocket, throws this one short, complete to Justin McGee. Won't be anywhere close to the first down. It will be marked out at the 44-yard line, so still 4th and 7 yards to go. But they are close to midfield, so.
Yeah, illegal man downfield on that. And that happens a lot when you have a quarterback that's scrambling and trying to create some plays. The offensive lineman holds a block, holds, and then releases downfield, assuming that the quarterback's going to scramble at that point. He did just dump it off to his outlet receiver.
Penalty declined by Borah, so punt formation now for Mountain View. 9:30 to go, first quarter. Here from Meridian.
And good stand for Borah. If you're Borah, you got to take heart in that and say, hey, listen, we stopped a really potent offense, some big boys, stop the running attack, we see what they hold. And, Mountain View shooting themselves in the foot a little bit, but Borah has to take a little bit of pride in what they did on that first drive.
Jacob Detweiler back deep to receive this for Borah. He's going to let this one bounce at the 9, and it rolls into the end zone. So a touchback here for the Lions. They'll start at the 20-yard line with 9 minutes to go in the first quarter. A couple 3-and-outs to start things here tonight.
Yeah, and you don't see it because it's on the radio, but one of the Borah players came in, and they run that little spread formation when they do the punt. So they spread their linemen, Mountain View does. Then they have big offensive linemen as a secondary protection. Some Borah player, and it's gonna remain unnamed because I don't want to embarrass anybody, but he just got pancaked. And then on top of that, he saw what it was like to play against Tier 1 high school football in the state of Idaho. A couple guys laid on him, kept him down.
So I thought they ruled this a touchback, but they ruled that this thing went out the 1-yard line. So Borah backed up against its own goalpost to start their second drive. McCarney in the shotgun, rushed in to his right. Twins near side, single receiver far side. 9 minutes to go, first quarter, scoreless so far here from Mountain View. McCartney will now switch, rushed in from his left to his right. Man in motion coming near side. He'll take the snap, handoff, Rushton. Not a lot of room to go. He's tackled in the end zone. It's going to be a safety.
Yeah, it's a safety, and that's the trial, and that's the struggle you have when you have a spread offense, and that's all you're accustomed to. Kids these days or teams don't really line up under center, so you're taking a snap already 4 yards deep in the end zone, and you hand it off, and you have guys just pinning their ears back, knowing that you're going to run the ball. And unfortunately, Borah got caught in the end zone for his safety, but a great play by the Mavericks defense coming up field knowing and anticipating that run. They actually ran a run blitz on that. They took a couple guys up, took some steps. You take 2 or 3 steps into the backfield, look where the runner is going to go with the ball, and we're able to stop him.
So 8:56 to go, first quarter. The score 2-0 Mountain View as the safety for the Mavs gets them on the board first. And like you said, Ryan, just not a whole lot of room to run. They went shotgun set, and Rushton didn't really have a whole lot of space to maneuver, and that was a good job not only by Mountain View dialing up the blitz, but their players also in pursuit of the ball carrier. And we await the forthcoming punt from Borah, which will be deeper than your normal kick. Normally they kick off from the 40, so they're going to kick this one from the 20 instead of the 40. So not only does Mountain View get the 2 points, but also a pretty good field position coming up for the Mavs.
That was tough. So you got to give credit to the Mountain View special teams, right? The special teams punted the ball goes out of bounds at the 1 yard line. And at that point, it's a defensive coordinator's dream. You say, we got this. We want to do this. And that's an attaboy for your defense. When your defense scores you points, is scoring points for you, you have a really good chance to win the game.
So Tony Roscoe going to kick it off here for Borah. Puts this one up on a tee. You can either punt it or put it on a tee here in high school.
That's everywhere.
Is it?
Everywhere.
Okay.
Yep, you can do it anywhere. I'm assuming you could probably drop kick the thing if you really wanted to.
Right. And so this kick, bit of a line drive. Mountain View is going to pick it up off a hop. Here's Akeley returning it. Has some room down the near side. Breaks a tackle across midfield to the 35. And finally pushed down at the 31. A good return there for Kai Akeley.
Yeah, Kai Akeley, he's a game changer for the Mountain View team. He's a good athlete, and he plays all over the field. He plays on offense and defense. You'll see him everywhere. But the thing that I liked about that one is he was coming up the right sideline here. He waited for his blocks and waited for the return to develop. Some of those big guys, that's a design return right. They set the return up, and he just followed his guys for a big return.
So excellent field position here for the Mavs. They spot the ball at the Borah 32, near hash mark. Here comes the Mavs offense for their second drive of the day. Wall in the shotgun. McGee to his right. Wall is going to throw. Throws a bomb down the far side. Has a man. Touchdown, Mountain View.
And just like that, you see the explosiveness of the Mountain View team. And they dialed that one up knowing they saw the first drive what they did with their safeties, which they kept them close to the line of scrimmage, trying to make Mountain View a one-dimensional team. And you saw him just read that. No safety help over the top. The receiver just ran past the defensive back, and he just had to put it up and let him run underneath that. That's a great play by the quarterback to get enough height on the ball and allow for the receiver to get underneath it.
Colin Rogers bringing in the 32-yard score from Dawson Wall. And the extra point on for the Mavs is up and good. A 9-0 our score, 8:40 to go first quarter. Special teams set up the last 9 points there for the Mavs.
Yeah, that's give big credit to the Mountain View special teams on that. Now, if you're Borah, you have to take a look at this and say, all right, we've been punched in the mouth, so to speak. Yeah. We've seen exactly what they can do. We've held them on the run. We committed to stopping the run. At a point where you probably say talent-wise, team on team, I'd give the edge to Mountain View, trying to be nice on this one, but give the edge to Mountain View just size-wise and whatnot. This is where scheme's going to come into play for Borah, and they're really going to have to figure out how they're going to scheme around and maybe out-coach or outsmart for the rest of the game because you're down 9-0 early.
Yeah, and Borah is an offense that we've seen this through their first couple possessions. It's an offense that is purely based off of the run. They want to get Parker Rushton going. They want to get him going early. The last thing you want if you're Borah is to fall behind by what is now you're going to have to score twice, sitting at 9 instead of 8. Last thing you want to do is fall behind early.
Yeah, and teams that don't have that explosive style of offense really rely on a good, solid defense to keep them close in the game, and you grind down the clock. And as you mentioned, the Borah offense is designed to do that. That's not saying that they can't do it, and I expect them to actually score a few points in this game. I don't know how many points, but I expect them to score some points in this. If they can keep it close now, right now is a pivotal drive, right? We say it every single time. How do you respond to a big touchdown drive? And we'll see what Borah has.
Connington getting set to kick this thing off in between the hash marks. It's going to be Rushton and Sampson back deep to receive. No chance at returning this one. That is well behind the end zone for a touchback.
So I've called the game every week since week 0, including week 0. That was the kick of the year so far.
Yeah.
That was the furthest kick.
That was a bomb.
I thought he was going to split the uprights on that thing. Did you see Justin Reed, the kicker for the Chiefs? Yeah. He did split the uprights. Right. It can happen.
He was a backup kicker for the Chiefs. In NFL, you dress one kicker, right? So he was.
Or your punter knows how to kick.
Yeah, right. He is some sort of other position player. And
he's a safety.
Yeah, he kicked it right through the uprights. So Borah is going to start this from the 20-yard line. McCarney back to pass, has this one complete out to the far side. It's a gain of about 8.
I like it. Great play call, right? Take what the defense gives you. You see the defenders are pulling up back on you. Mountain View is going to give him some of those, expecting him to maybe make some mistakes. But if he can complete what they give him and be conservative in the style of the throws that he makes, I think that they have a chance to move the ball down the field pretty well.
Trace Freeman bringing in the catch. It's a gain of 9. 2nd and 1 coming up for Borah from the 29 of Mountain View. Mountain View playing just one high safety. Borah going shotgun, 3 receiver set, 2 twins to the near side. Handoff Rushton trying to seek to the near side. Breaks one tackle, slips out of another, has a first down, and it's close to the 40. They push him out at the 39. It's the first down for Borah.
Yeah, when you're going against a runner like Rushton, who has great balance, he's a big enough kid, he's strong enough, and he has a quick little burst, he does really well once he hits the outside of the tackles. He's a really good runner all over the field, but he'll make you miss on the outside. How do you scout team that? Who do you have to go against you when you have to go up against a running back like that? And it's tough to do.
Just a bell cow running back touches it, 20, 25 times a game. It's tough for sure. First down and 10, this one from the 41. McCarney in the shotgun, 4 receivers set. It's going to be an option. McCarney keeps, cuts back towards the middle of the field, is across the 45 to the 46. He'll get pick up a 6 on that one.
Yeah, great play calling, just trying to keep it simple, keep your team in check, make sure that we can move the ball. You got to keep some confidence going for them, and picking up 4 or 5 yards a pop, you'll take that all day as an offensive coordinator.
7.5 to go, first quarter. Mountain View holding a 9-0 lead. It's a safety and then a touchdown off of that safety is how Mountain View has their 9 points so far. Shotgun set once again for the Lions. Man in motion, Trace Freeman going far side. They hand off Rushton. Rushton looking for some room on the far side. Slips out of one tackle, can't get out of another. No gain.
If you're Mountain View, you have to be ready to gang tackle that guy. First guy's never going to take him down. I mean, barring some fantastic hit in the backfield, one guy's not going to take him down, so you have to plan on gang tackling Rushton in the backfield or anytime you get a hand on him.
Third down coming up here for Borah from the 46. 3rd and 5, under 7 minutes to play now, first quarter. McCarney now looking towards the Borah sideline for the play. Motions the running back from his right to his left. 4 receivers in the set, twins to each side. Now he sends the back in motion. That's Rushton towards the near side. McCarney going to throws this one far side. Pass caught, first down, Borah. Calling that one in is Jacob Haley.
Yeah, great play call on the offense, and you saw what happened was they pulled the safety up. They brought 8 men in the box, and they played one on a man-to-man across the board. Mountain View dropped to not let anything get past him, and they just went past the sticks on the comeback on the far side, and he waited for that to develop, hit his man on the comeback.
The first down pushes Borah across the 50-yard line to the 48, so now operating in Maverick territory. McCarney in the gun once again, twins near side. Rushton to his left, play action, McCarney. Plenty of time. Now he rolls near side, looking to run in pursuit, and he goes down in the backfield. The sack that time for Mountain View, Maximus Maley.
Yeah, and he was looking for his check down, and it was his running back, I want to say, that was on his check down, but he got held up in the backfield. But he got held as he was trying to break free and throw the crossing route. Nobody came open on that. They double covered the near side of the field with the safety up top, and he's not going to throw back across this field. There are only 3 people in the pattern on that one, possibly 4. I didn't see the far side. Apologies.
It's a loss of 6 on the sack, so Miley coming up with the sack for the Mavs. Puts Borah behind the sticks again. 4 receivers in the set. Man in motion near the far side is Haley. Flags on the play. They throw it to Haley on a screen, and he's blown up in the backfield. We'll check the flag.
Yeah, it's going to be illegal motion. You had too many things going on. Yeah, and they're going to decline that with the tackle in the backfield. Illegal shift.
Same thing, right?
Same thing. You're moving illegally.
Right. So obviously the penalty will be declined, so sets up a 3rd and 16 now for Borah.
Well, rush as hard as you can, drop your safeties, and home board doesn't hit you deep. No, this is a smart call by Borah.
Hand off to Rushton, and he only gets a couple. So 4th down and forever now for the Lions, and likely a punt coming up.
Yeah, that's the right call this early in the game. You don't want to give up a big pick. I mean, actually, I've always been a big fan of throwing it down there and seeing what you can gain on that. But at this point, don't try and give it up. No fumbles or anything like that in the backfield. Split the field, send the ball down, and play some defense.
Borah going to punt this one away. End over end kick will take a bounce at the 24. Mountain View going to receive it on the bounce. Returning this one is Patwell, and he's dropped at the 22.
Yeah, great coverage on that one by Borah. They came down the field and they did a good job. That was Matt Knight, who's a junior for Borah, and he kept him in check, cut him off and break him to the outside, and then they swarmed him up. So you got to look at those. Those are little wins for Borah, okay? Hey, we won that on a punt. We flipped the field. They don't have phenomenal field position. We've got to play some solid defense on this one. Got to make them punt the ball, although there's a flag on the far side of the field.
Yeah, we'll check the flag as the officials sort this one out. The Mavs cheer squad having a 50-50 raffle here tonight. They came up to the booth before this one and
tell me you bought something.
That to us. Yeah.
Did you buy?
I haven't, but I have cash in my pocket. So. It's It's an illegal block in the back, this one on Mountain View, so it's going to push the Mavs back. So if you happen to know anyone who's in attendance tonight and they haven't contributed to the 50-50 raffle, maybe shoot them a text.
Text them right now.
Let them know.
It's a chance. Saying there's a chance.
That's right. Can't win if you don't play.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Exactly. The penalty going to push the Mavs all the way back to the 10. So here comes Wall, and he's going to hand this one off McGee. Nowhere to go. Near side, no gain on first down.
Yeah, good job by the Borah defense on that one. They essentially played for the run. Everybody stayed home on that. Nobody followed any pulling guards. Any of the fake motion going on. Stayed home and made the quick tackle. That was Parker Rushton, by the way. See, that's the thing about these Borah kids. A lot of these guys are going both ways.
Yeah.
You know, with the less, we'll call it turnout for football, a lot of the good athletes, you got to play on both sides of the ball.
Wall back to pass, penalty marker down at the line of scrimmage as he threw that one to the near side.
That's going to be a holding on Mountain View. Brought a guy to the ground, wrangled him to the ground, the defensive end. Mountain View very aggressive on the offensive line tonight.
The intended receiver was Dante Cobb for Mountain View. Mountain View is wearing their black uniforms tonight, and Cobb normally wears 84 on the normal roster. Tonight he's wearing 36, so it took me a while to find his name on the roster because he's buried at the bottom. 36 is at the bottom of the roster.
Oh,
That's
wow.
normally not the case. So.
Now, and I do say so myself, if you're not here and you haven't seen it, these are pretty sleek uniforms. They're pretty slick. And Borah looks like LSU out there.
Yeah, they do. They look sharp for sure. So penalty goes against Mountain View. 2nd and 16. Dump off pass goes to the running back for Mountain View. That's Patwell, and he is close to a first down right at the 20. I think they're going to mark him about a yard short.
And great play call, way to set that up for Mountain View. Nobody. I mean, he had nobody in front of him.
Yeah, Mekhi Patwell, the senior, 5'10", 165. This time the Mavs just push things forward. It's an easy first down for the Mavs with McGee to the 28.
Yeah, McGee's going to do that all night. He's going to get the majority of he's going to get all the carries at this point. And he runs very north-south, less of a shifty. He's a one-cut kind of guy. But being the athlete, being a quarterback, he really understands the flow of the game.
Empty set for Wall. McGee in motion. They give him the ball on a pitch, on a little jet sweep, and he's tackled right at the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10.
Yeah, Jesuit, he lined up on the right, came back to the left, and that's the old little Patrick Mahomes thing where you just kind of shovel it forward. If he drops it, it's an incomplete pass because it's a forward pass. That goes down as a completed pass for 0 yards.
Yeah, good for his fantasy stats for sure. So under 3 minutes to play first quarter. Wall going to throw across the middle, pass caught, first down. Mountain View still squeaking out of tackles. Is Patwell still on his feet towards midfield and pushed out of bounds at the 49.
Ooh, Patwell ran that inside, and what they did is they read the picket fence that they're setting up in the second level from Borah. He sat right inside the seam. He got the defender on his hip, turned inside because he was lined up on the right, turned inside, and fantastic delivery. And then he made like 3 jump cuts to avoid all kinds of tackles.
No huddle here for Mountain View. 1st and 10 from the 48-yard line is where they spotted it. McGee up the middle is across midfield between the hash marks to the 49 on the other side of the 50.
See, this is pretty indicative of what's kind of happened all year for Mountain View. They run the ball, they'll run it, and they'll get some yards. They'll have their bell cow. But every time that they've started stretching the field out, every time they started sending the ball downfield is when good things have happened to them. They've been able to score points.
2nd down and 7 from the 49. Handoff up the middle. McGee across the 45 to the 44. 3rd down and short coming up for Mountain View. Under 2 minutes to play now, first quarter.
See, and I like those delayed handoffs out of the shotgun because what it allows you to do is the offensive line and the play to kind of develop in front of you, and a good back can pick his way through a lot of that traffic to pick up positive yards.
3rd down and 3. 1:40 to go in the first quarter. Flags before the snap. This is going to be a false start on Mountain View, so turn a 3rd and 3 into a 3rd and 7.
8.
There we go. That's math for you.
You know, but you're right, it's actually 7. So.
Oh, there you go. So I was right.
You were right. It's public high school in Colorado, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, 3rd and 7 here, 1:20 to go, first quarter. 9-0 our score. Mountain View with the lead. Pistol set this time for Wall. He'll throw on 3rd down. It's going to be a screen. Pass is caught by McGee. McGee still on his feet, coming near side. Across the 30, he has a first down and a lot more. Pushed out at the 22.
Great play call, and you saw Borah pin their ears back and out of the pistol. If you're a defensive lineman and you've been playing against this big Mountain View team and all of a sudden you have free space to the quarterback, you got to know something's up at that point. I don't expect Borah to continue to do that because you've been having a tough time getting penetration. It's not like this play all of a sudden you figured out the clue. I think they'll be able to be a little bit more responsive to that type of play moving forward.
3 receivers set on 1st down and 10. So they're flirting with the red zone here. Ball at the 23. Twins to the near side, single receiver far side for Wall. The handoff up the middle as this goes to Kelton Richmond.
Yeah, and giving McKee a little bit of a breather here at the back position, which is he needs it. You know, he's going to be a bell cow. He puts a lot of mileage on his legs. A little scatter back at that point. Richmond looks like a little smaller version, picking his way between those big offensive linemen.
Yeah, Richmond's still in the game here. He'll stand to Wall's right as we're under a minute to play now in the first quarter. Mountain View now in the red zone. Wall going to throw. Has time. Throws a quick out near side and pushed out close to the 10-yard line.
And the play call on that one, the design is they wanted him to read one side of the field, and they collapsed it to the short side of the field, and he was able to read it, wait for his man to come open. He wanted the deep receiver that was doing kind of a deep flag pattern in the end zone. That didn't develop in time. Borah covered it, and he waited for his man to release underneath for the shorter gain, which ended up being a first down.
Yeah, Cobb, the receiver that hauled that one in. Again, the receiver hiding at the bottom of our roster. McGee, the handoff on 1st and 10. They have the ball, but they can get it looks like they can get a first down before a touchdown.
Yeah, they can, and Borah right now needs to be stout. They need to be stout against the run to make them one-dimensional.
Yeah, that may have been the last play of the first quarter. There's 10 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Mountain View lining up with 3 seconds, 2 and 1. That'll do it for the first quarter. Or so the clock says. Officials are going to let this one go as a quick out to McGee is incomplete. Boy, there was 000s on that clock up at the scoreboard for a while. Nevertheless, they let it go.
One last play, want to extend this game a little bit. No, I'm with you. I saw 000s, and it stayed and stayed. So, as is, we'll flip the field.
Yeah, we've reached the end of the first quarter, so Mountain View knocking on the door once again. They hold a 9-0 lead. Second quarter coming up on IdahoSports.com right after this.
No matter what life holds, we'll be there for you. Mountain West Bank. Today, tomorrow, together.
Treasure Valley Game Night here on IdahoSports.com is presented by Mountain West Bank and brought to you by our major advertising partners. They are Project Filter, Valleywide Cooperative, the Idaho Transportation Department, the Idaho Department of Health and Welfare, Next Steps Idaho, and your local Toyota dealer. Our power boosters tonight are the College of Western Idaho, Evade Pest Management, Big Judson Meridian, Pacific Residential Mortgage, Metro Appraisals, and Meridian Plumbing. So here we go to start the second quarter. Mountain View, goal to go here from the 9. Flags before we get going here.
That one's going to be interesting because it was a shift by Borah, and they just shifted laterally. They didn't jump across the line of scrimmage, so I think that forced. Yeah, there we go.
So false start on Mountain View. They're going to get Colin Rogers for the Mavs.
Yeah, and Borah did the old shift on the defensive line where it's kind of a coordinated shift to see if they can get the offensive line to move. They didn't get an offensive lineman. They got number 10 to move on that, which is a receiver at that point on the near sideline here.
Rogers does have the lone Mountain View touchdown, a 32-yard reception.
Yeah, and Rogers is a deep threat, too. You have to watch him all night. He will run past people.
Wall shotgun set, Twins to each side. Third down, it's goal to go from the 14.
The linebackers are tight in on this one. open space.
And whistles and a timeout.
Yeah, and I think the coach was seeing the same thing I was seeing. So tight, and then the safeties were so deep. There was a huge space in the middle of the field, trying to address some of those deficiencies in that coverage. But you do what your coaches tell you to do.
Yeah, so 3rd and 15 coming up, or 3rd and goal to go from the 14 for Mountain View coming up. This is still the first play of the second quarter. So taking a look back at that first quarter, Borah maybe some trouble moving the ball a little bit, but at the same tune, aside from a couple plays on this drive, Borah's defense has also hung in pretty tight.
And we saw 122 total yards in that first quarter, and that was on the Mountain View side. And that was just one quarter alone at that rate. I mean, they're going at a 466, 68-yard clip at this point. Right. Basically what we're looking at is Borah has to be able to hunker down, get a little bit more stout. They have committed to stopping the run, and I will give them credit for that. But that being said, you do expose some of your defensive backs when you don't have enough people or in the defensive backfield when they're all committed to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and there's just so many weapons on this Mountain View side. This is a team that had state title aspirations last year
and coming into this year.
Right.
I mean, they're still ranked in the top 5.
Right.
And for a good reason, too. They look the part.
All right, 3rd down and goal. We're ready to go. Now Wall is going to toss this one to the end zone. Has Cobb. Did it get a foot down? No, it's incomplete. 4th down coming up, but a flag in the backfield.
Boy, that was a pretty ball. Wall throws a really pretty ball. And when you say a pretty ball, what does that look like? It's a ball that's a tight spiral and turns over, so the nose points down as it's coming down. Beautiful play in the end zone. Just his foot fell out of bounds, but it was a great grab. Good execution.
Jamison Perry, the senior lineman, called for a hold on that, so Borah obviously declining it. We'll bring up a 4th down for Mountain View. On comes the field goal unit, and Connington, we'll see how accurate that cannon of a leg he has is. This one from 31 yards. 31 yards in between the hash marks. Snap a little low. Kick on its way is no good. Pushed it to the right.
Well, fantastic stop for Borah. You got to be excited if you're a Borah fan, a Borah coach, and especially a Borah player. You let them march down the field, but you held tight when you had to, and no points were scored. Yep. Take that as a win, flip it, and see what you can do on offense.
Yeah, so the Borah offense now coming onto the field. They'll take over deep in their own territory, but this now becomes a big drive for Borah. You had the big defensive stand, a touchdown on this drive. You're right back in it.
You are right back in it. I mean, it's only 9 points. I think the big fear is can you score at a fast enough clip to keep up with them? But once you make a stop like that, you're in control of your own destiny at this point.
So ball is going to be placed at the 20-yard line. Here comes Borah for their next drive. They're going to be moving from left to right across your screen or phone or tablet, however you are listening here tonight. Handoff goes to Rushton in between the hash marks. Nowhere to go.
Yeah, and Borah's going to have to they're going to have to be creative, right? Like they know that Rushton's going to run the ball. But the question is, when you start game planning and scheming, is where is Rushton going to run the ball? That's kind of going to have to be the idea or the MO from here on out if you're Borah.
11:25 to go before halftime. McCarney going to throw this one down the near sideline. One-on-one coverage falls incomplete. Was looking for Haley in coverage there for Mountain View was Akeley.
Yeah, Akeley, like I said, he's a game changer. You'll see him all over the field. He'll pop in on offense also, but he had him blanketed. And that was a one-read route. He dropped back knowing he was going to go there, and if it didn't happen, throw it deep. If your guy gets it, great. If not, if you get a pass interference. But that was by design a one-man route.
Well, Akeley did a good job of using the boundary as the second defender there, kind of pushed the receiver towards the sideline. All right, 3rd down and 10, 11:19 to go. McCarney back to pass and throws a quick out to Freeman. Freeman is dropped after gaining a couple, ball on the ground, but the officials rule him down at the 24.
Wyatt Farnsworth came up big on that for Mountain View. He came across. If he gets free, he's able to turn the corner, get up to first down yardage, and he made a fantastic tackle. Brought him to the ground instantly right after he caught the ball. He also was very well aware of where the sticks were. Woo, that was a tough one.
Right.
Not letting him get past that and making the tackle before those sticks.
So McCarty goes from quarterback to punter here as punt formation this time for Borah. Patwell, the deep man for the Mavs, takes this one right at the 45 across midfield to the Borah 45, and he's taken down at the far side of the field between the numbers and the hash marks. So 10:32 to go, second quarter now. Mountain View once again good field position here. Last time they had good field position, they cashed it in for points.
Yeah, and if you're Borah, here you go again, right? Defense is on the field, playing this potent offense that theoretically could blow up at any time, score some points, but lock and load, big dig in. You committed to stopping the run. You got to stick with the game plan. Make them one-dimensional. Hope they make mistakes. Hope the Mavericks make mistakes on offense.
Yeah, Mountain View last week at Hawaii, 34 points, but aided by a pick six and also a special teams touchdown was that 34 points. But this, obviously, a Mountain View team that year in and year out can move the football. 1st and 10 from the Borah 45. McGee, the man in motion, he was at receiver. Now he comes at running back, takes the handoff down the far hash, tackled at the 40. It's a gain of 4.
Yeah, and I'm looking at these Borah players. A lot of these guys, like you said, these big boys are playing both ways. Some of the other guys, and they're showing a lot of heart down there. They're hustling, they're popping up, but that is going to get taxing by the end of the game.
2nd down and 6. McGee, far hash mark, finds a couple yards straight up the middle to the 38. So 3rd down coming up for Mountain View. I don't know what's Connington's leg. I mean, he did just miss one from about 30 yards or so, but it did have plenty of leg. I would still imagine this is 4-down territory with 3rd and 4.
Yeah, get close. You know you can pick up 3 or 4 yards. I was going to say McKenna, the defensive end, the junior defensive end for Borah, big kid. I have him listed at 6'6", 235. He was able to get around the ankles. That kid's somebody to watch out moving forward. He's shown a lot of hustle, a lot of play as this moved on, as this game's going forward.
Speed option far side. Wall pitches over to McGee. It's going to be a 1st down or close to it for Mountain View. It will depend on the spot. Looks like from up here that he got it, or no, they mark him, a nose of the football short. Wow.
What are they doing over there? I can't tell. There they go. They gave it to him.
I was going to say the nose of the football looks like it's sitting on the 35, and it is a 1st down for Mountain View. The the 1st down was literally a line on a field, and the nose of the football was sitting on that line. So it is a 1st down for Mountain View at the 35. Play action. Wall, plenty of time, loads this one up, throws a home run, ball incomplete, looking for Cobb. He had a step on the defender.
Yeah, and he read that defense, and he saw the safety had sucked up. There was no deep help. When he threw that, I thought, that guy, whoa, that's too much, and he put a lot of zip on that thing. If he would have maybe put some more air underneath it, he could have run into underneath it. The receiver could have, but boy, he reared back and let that one rip.
2nd down and 10 from the 35. Empty set for Wall. 9:32 to go, 2nd quarter. 4 receivers in the pattern. Twins to each side, plus a tight end to the near side.
Yeah, and Borah, 3 down linemen, but also dropping 3 safeties, expecting a pass on this play.
Man in motion, McGee. Now comes to set as running back. He will get the handoff up the middle. McGee, some room, has a 1st down. Still on his feet across the 20, and he's brought down at the 18. Yeah, the 18. 1st down, Mountain View now inside the red zone.
Yeah, inside the red zone, and that's what you do. If you get a three down lineman, you can push those guys around. The big key is can those offensive linemen get to the next level and spring your back when they're expecting a pass.
1st down and 10. They'll actually can mark him at the 17. Wall looking to pass near side. Finds this man down the sideline, tiptoeing down the sideline, reaching for the end zone. He's marked just a yard short, as that was Patwell.
Colin Rogers made a fantastic block downfield. He was up, and he did a good job of making sure that he didn't push the guy in the back. The guy turned to kind of run with him, and he was standing there. He didn't kill him, but he made a fantastic block.
1st and goal for the Mavs. Ball sitting at the 1-yard line on the near hash. McGee to the left. He gets the handoff, bulldozes his way into the end zone. Touchdown, Mountain View.
Yeah, big touchdown, and there was no question on that one. They're going to give it to McGee, and the big guys up front, they made that wedge, kind of created the wedge. It was just straight zone blocking. Get behind us, my friend, and we will take you to the end zone.
So McGee, the 1-yard touchdown run, makes it 15-0 Mountain View. Connington now comes on for the extra point. Snap good, hold good. Kick on its way is also good. Let's make it 16-0. Mavs in front of Borah. And for Borah, an offense that has struggled to get much of anything going now finds themselves down 2 scores, 16 points obviously. You can get a couple touchdowns and a couple 2-point conversions. Borah saw Cuna do exactly that on them last week. That road loss at Cuna probably stung a little bit. They lost that one in overtime, 35-21. Borah led by 2 scores going into the fourth quarter against Cuna, and the Lions probably walked away from that one thinking that was a game they probably should have won. So at least from their standpoint, no better way to overcome that than to come back from 2 scores here at Mountain View.
2 scores, yeah, but 2 different teams too, right? You're looking at a Cuna team that's not necessarily on the same level as a Mountain View team. Again, we talked earlier in the broadcast about how Mountain View has aspirations for state championships year in and year out. At this point, Borah needs to play for this drive. Score on this one, win this drive, and don't look ahead. You know you have a little bit of a hole to crawl out of on this one, and you can do it, but it's going to start with moving the ball. You got to take a little bit. We talk about this all the time. Take a small win, and that's going to be a successful drive. I'd love to see them put some points on the board. I think that would be an incredible morale booster for the whole team. Now, again, we talked about a lot of these guys are going both ways, so. You know, physically, how are they going to be able to hold up against a team that really doesn't play both ways?
Connington again, end-over-end kick. Forget about it. This one lands right in the middle of the end zone. Touchback once again.
Yeah, and Borah, you got to stick to your game plan. It's too early to call it off and scrap it and whatever, and I don't think that the coaches would do that. I think they're a disciplined group of coaches over on the Borah side, and they're going to keep doing their game plan. You talked about earlier how this is a critical game for them to win. That being the case, put your head down. Whatever the outcome is on this one, know that you can live to fight another day.
Yeah, so 1st and 10 for Borah. They'll mark it in between the hash marks at the Mountain View 20-yard line. And, talked about how this is a big one for Borah. They sit at 2-2 overall. They have yet to win a game in the Rivers division. They sit at 0-2, losing their last 2. After this one, you have Owyhee at home, but Owyhee is receiving votes in the state media poll. Then you have Boise, and you close the season with Eagle. So not a whole lot of breathing room there for Borah as Rushton gets the handoff up the middle and gains about 1. And, you look at the conference standings, and you look at the team that sits at the top of it, and you go, Nampa? Really?
Nampa?
They were 4A last year.
And Napa's a sneaky team, and they've kind of oscillated a little bit between size and, schools being built around them all over the place, and so they're going to continue to grow and swell and do whatever they're doing. But Napa's been a gritty bunch for a long time now. I remember a couple of years ago they were playing Bishop Kelly and gave BK all they could handle in BK's run to the state championship game.
Yeah, BK a favorite to maybe win the 4A title. McCarney pass over the middle, caught by Freeman. Towards the 30-yard line. It will be a first down. Mark him down at the 31.
Yeah, if you're the Borah coaching staff, you like that. You like simple route, guy came open, throw, pitch, catch, tackle, first down. Fantastic. And great play call because they ran him right behind the defensive line and in front of that shell, that deep shell with a couple of safeties.
First down and 10 from the 31. Under 8 minutes to play, second quarter. Mountain View holding a 16-0 lead. As the senior quarterback for Borah, McCarney, looking towards the far sideline, directing traffic now to his offense. 5 receivers in the set, no running backs. McCarney going to throw. Now he's scrambling, in trouble. Sneaks out of 1 sack and does pick up about 2. As McCarney turned what could have been a sack into, a positive gain.
Positive game, but it was blanket coverage down the field, which made him hold on to the ball. He kept his eyes up the whole time, waiting for a guy to break open. He was looking for a receiver to kind of come across the middle. The Mavericks turned and ran, all of them. All their defensive backs turned and ran with all of the receivers, and then when they released him to the next guy, there was blanket coverage.
Yeah, Mountain View's done a good job. It's been man-to-man for a good majority of the night. So 2nd and 8, McCarney throwing this one near side, incomplete. was looking for Haley. In coverage from Mountain View was Akeley.
So Akeley broke on that ball. And how he broke on that ball, he timed that thing with there was exquisite timing, we'll put it that way, because any sooner that would have been a pass interference call, but he broke perfectly on that to break it up.
3rd down and 8, 6:45 to go, second quarter. A big 3rd down here for Borah. Twin receivers to each side, McCarney in the gun. McCarney looking to pass, throws this one near side, it's intercepted. They intercepted a screen pass, did the Mavs, and now we're going the other way. I believe it was Ivan Perkins who came up with the interception. It is Perkins.
No, it was Mason Childs, wasn't
Okay.
it? Mason Childs, I believe. Number 8, yeah.
Yeah, it is Mason Childs, yeah. So 6 kind of looks like 8 when they crunch up the uniforms.
They do. Yeah, he did a good job on that. What he did, that was his coverage, right? He had the man coverage on that receiver out there, and then when everybody released, he slipped in front of the blockers and waited on it, just jumped the route. And that's tough to see if you're the quarterback. You don't expect the guy to do that. You expect some of the blockers, some of the men out in front of him to block that guy out and at least shield him so your receiver can get to the ball.
The Mountain View defense forced 5 turnovers last week in the win over Hawaii, including a melee pick 6. So good field position off their first turnover tonight. They sling this one out near side, pass caught, gain of a couple for Mountain View. Kyle Cook on the reception, the tight end.
Yeah, Kyle Cook's a big boy. He moves pretty well. He kind of got his leg rolled up on that one, limping a little bit, but he's a tough kid. He'll bounce back. I do like the idea of getting more people involved in your offense, especially your tight end.
Handoff McGee up the middle. McGee is still on his feet, churning towards the 20 in between the hash marks, brought down to 21. Big 3rd down coming up.
Big 3rd down, and Borah's attacking downhill, right? They're saying on the run, we're not going to let you beat us on the run. So they're attacking downhill and making good stops on that, trying to play run defense.
3rd down, 5 yards to go, under 6 minutes to play now. Second quarter, a bomb towards the end zone, touchdown Mountain View. Hauling that one in, Colin Rogers, his 2nd touchdown of the night. This one from 27 yards.
Yeah, 27 yards. He put it on a dime. It's pretty. This game's simple, right? Throw the ball where they're not, and let your guy go get it, and that's exactly what he did in the back corner of the end zone. Let his man run underneath it, and he learned from his previous throw when he just gunned it out of reach for his receiver, put enough air underneath it. Rogers, good speed, ran underneath it right in stride.
22-0 our score. Mountain View slowly starting to take control of this one. Connington on for the extra point. And it is up and good, making our score 23-0. Mountain View once again taking advantage of the short field, cashing in again with the Rogers touchdown. He has one from 32 and 27 yards.
Yeah, and it's tough because I'm looking at the body language of some of the Borah players. And at this point, I mean, these kids are fighting hard. And I told you before earlier, I said I love how scrappy they are. They're popping up. But it's not even the end of the second quarter. A lot of these two-way players, a lot of these kids are now starting to kind of slowly walk back to the huddle. And it's tough to see that. As a coach, it's tough to see that because somehow you have to get them motivated to keep their heads in the game.
Yeah, and it's a tough spot here for Borah, down 23 points to a top 5 team in the state media poll. We'll run through that state media poll right now. Rocky Mountain got all 10 first place votes in the latest state media poll. They sit at 4-0 atop that poll, the number 1 team in the state. Rigby over in East Idaho sitting at 3-1. They are second. Meridian over here in the SIC 3-0. They're sitting at third. Mountain View with a 1-2 record sitting at fourth. Eagle also with a 1-2 record rounds it out in fifth. Highland over in Pocatello. Owyhee over here in the Boise area and Lewiston up north, all receiving votes. But you look at this top 5 here in the media poll, one team in the top 5 is not from the SIC.
One team, yeah. It's a population base. I get that, right? And Rigby is that good of a team. They really are. They went down to American Fork, Utah. Touchback here. They went down to American Fork, Utah, played an away game, and played them tight. And that's a big game. In fact, American Fork tonight, my friend down in Utah is calling the game. They're playing Corner Canyon High School, which produced Zach Wilson, who now plays for the New York Jets. They have a couple of other guys that are playing big-time college football out there. They were ranked. They were a 4-time defending state champion. So, and they'll hang with them. That's the type of team that American Fork is. And Rigby took them right to the brink, took them right to the edge. So don't overlook Rigby from Eastern Idaho. I think they're going to be a tough team in the playoffs. And then I look at Meridian. I think Meridian's underrated, if you will.
Yeah,
I think
sure.
undervalued. I think they're going to push hard, but they do play later on. Rocky and Meridian do play, and we'll see who's number one at that point.
Yeah, I mean, Rocky Meridian, the two teams to beat up here in the Boise area as Borah starts this drive as McCarney keeping on the counter, and a late flag comes in sitting at the 26. The run did not gain much at all, so we'll check the flag, but you look at the teams to beat over here in the SIC. Meridian, I think, is a team that a lot of people are sleeping on. Everyone's looking at Rocky going, hey, that's the team to beat, indicative of this media poll where Rocky got all 10 votes. Meridian is a team that some people might be sleeping on.
Yeah, and Meridian's also the team that returns just a ton of starters. They have a kid, Nathan Reynolds, middle linebacker, tight end, do-it-all, punter. He's returned kicks. He's a difference maker. He catches touchdowns, split out wide. It doesn't matter what he's doing. And I think Meridian's actually better this year than they were last year. They have two really good and elusive backs in Del Rio and Byington. I think that's a team that's going to make a lot of noise.
Ball spotted at the 36. It's a first down after the Mountain View penalty. Pass to the near side is caught by Sitzer. Tanner Sitzer, the junior receiver for Borah. Short gain about 5 yards. Easy pitch and catch there for McCarney. Maybe get the offense going a little bit.
Yeah, I like it. Again, we talked about this every single time. When they're down and out, throw those easy passes. Just got to make sure that those easy passes are easy to catch and not to the other team.
Yeah, right. 5 minutes to go here before halftime. Mountain View, a 23-0 lead. Borah did get the ball to start the game, so Mountain View will get the second half kickoff, which makes this drive even more important for Borah. Here's McCarney in the shotgun set. Will look to throw. Looks far side. Pass caught by Trace Freeman at the 40. Slips out of one tackle and then brought down by a herd of Mavs. Mountain View saying that they have the ball. May have stripped it, but the official saying no. Freeman was down at the 42.
It's 2 consecutive completions, and that's a good thing for Borah, knowing that you can get the ball out there and throw it around. Is a small pickup. Baby wins, we'll call them at this point.
4.5 to go now, second quarter. 3rd down and 4 for McCarney and the Borah Lions. Twin receivers to each side. So they shift around a bit, looking towards the sideline for the call. McCarney back to pass, has time. McCarney steps up, throws a home run ball down the far side. Pass incomplete. As he was looking for Freeman, McCarney threw that one down into double coverage. May have been a bit of a, let's see what happens type of throw.
Yeah, let's see what happens. And every defender was, every receiver was blanketed. That was double coverage. The safety broke on that one. There was nothing deep. And that one's tough. That's a frustration throw. Well, let's just see, like you said, what we can come up with at this point. And I'm not questioning the Borah's desire to win this game. There is at this point you see some of the.
You got to find something. You got to get something going, right?
You got to get something going, and they did that in the form of maybe throwing the ball down the field. And I give them credit. They try to break it open.
Mountain View potentially could have blocked that punt. They ease up instead. The punt returner for Mountain View, Patwell, is dropped at the 26. What I mean by that is Mountain View got a clean cut off the edge. And it looked like they may have at least had a chance at blocking the punt, but instead they eased up.
Yeah, they did. But I'm gonna give, if his family's listening, number 5, Shane Thomas, who's a junior, great pug coverage, came down and put a lick on the returner. It was such a good hit that the returner just kind of jumped up and bounced backwards, didn't go down, but the rest of the team from Borah came by, gang tackled him. But Shane Thomas, great coverage on that one.
Next Mountain View drive going to start at the Borah 31. They'll set the ball in the far hash mark as Mountain View breaks the huddle on the near sideline with their offensive coaching staff, now being led by Brian Compton in his first season. As he takes over for Judd Benedict, stepped down in December after 15 seasons at the helm, but Compton spent the last 15 years as the offensive coordinator for Mountain View. Handoff McGee straight up the middle across the 35 to the 36.
And the general consensus around the program and talking to people connected to the program is Mountain View hasn't even skipped a beat. They've kept going. They kept marching on. Same offense is in place. The guys know the coach. They feel very confident moving forward, and they felt very confident trading hands, when the mantle was passed on.
Yeah, I think that's one case where if you're Mountain View, a program that's had a tremendous amount of success, in-house hire makes all kinds of sense as McGee on the second down carry, about a half yard short of the first down. So 3rd and short coming up here from Mountain View with 3 minutes and change to go before halftime.
Yeah, it makes all kinds of sense. And then if you're that team that wants to continue to play for state championships, and that's your goal, at the beginning of the season, that's great. You win your division, that's great. Congratulations. But you're playing for a state championship, and don't let anybody tell you anything different. It's state championship or bust for the Mountain View Mavericks.
Yeah, for the last several years for Mountain View, it's been championship or bust. Swing pass McGee on 3rd and short. And he catches this one, brought down a high tackle, brought down at the 49. No flags on the play, but it is a first down for Mountain View. 2:40 to go before halftime.
Yeah, and the senior Colin Rogers made 2 touchdown grabs, also made a heck of a block. Fantastic block that sprung him for first down yardage.
Ball sitting at the Mountain View 49. Back to McGee on first down. Between the hash marks, brought down at the 50. It's a gain of just a yard. 2:25 to go, second quarter.
One thing you'll notice when you're watching a team like a Mountain View or a Rocky Mountain, just how physical they are. They're throwing guys all over the place. Defensive linemen are bouncing backwards. Even when the tackle's being made, they're still blocking. They're finishing out until the whistle's blown.
2:10 to go before halftime. Play action pass. This one dropped by the tight end for Mountain View. I believe that was Grizzle. Or no, Cass Nelson, actually, the junior tight end.
Yeah, Cass Nelson. He had that one again. He's kicking himself in the bum on that one, saying, "Daggone, I dropped that thing," because he had some open space. More so, even had blockers ahead of him. It's kind of a crossing route. He ran underneath, and then the outside man went upfield to block. It's somewhat of a little of a slippish type screen. He had a lot of room in front of him if he would have held on to that.
Yeah, they just snuck him out into the flat. Had a lot of green in front of him had he been able to bring that one in.
I didn't see the flag. Did you?
I didn't even see a flag, but they're marking this one. Well, let's see.
Ooh, 15.
So a personal foul. This is after the play. So a personal foul against Mountain View. They did not give a number, so they are able to pipe in the audio here for the officials, so we know what the foul was. We don't know who was on, but nevertheless, it's going to push Mountain View all the way back to their own 35, and a 3rd and 24 coming up now with under 2 minutes to go before the half.
Hey, you got to stop here, maybe move down, score some points. Kind of changes the dynamics of the game going into halftime if you're Borah.
Yeah, Borah, still with 2 timeouts, electing not to use one here. Mountain View running the clock all the way down to a $1:40. Screen pass here is going to be caught by Mountain View's Patwell, and he'll be well short of the first down. He gains 5, but a 4th down coming up. Now Borah will use a timeout. It's their second of the half.
Yeah, Henry Hill, the linebacker, did a great job. He fought off a block to get through to make the tackle on that one. Didn't want to give him any more room. He's playing with a big old club on his left hand. Looks like he has a broken hand at this point, but fought him off for a great tackle. Well short of the first down, like 20 yards short of the first down.
Like a ways to go. So coming up at halftime, we just have a 1:32 to go here before halftime. Coming up at halftime, we'll recap our thoughts here in the first half, break down what we think might need to happen for the second half, and then Ryan, first time we've worked together, so one thing I kind of like to do, let's break down the weekend of football. Kind of locally, Boise State playing tomorrow. You're a Utah guy, went to about every college/university in the state of Utah, so I'm sure you're well-versed in that. BYU, big game this week in Eugene, yes?
Yeah, big game at Eugene, yep.
So we'll break down some thoughts throughout the weekend of football, maybe some thoughts on the NFL. We'll see.
Hey, don't tempt me with a good time.
Right. 4th down coming up here, 4th and 19 for Mountain View. They're going to punt this thing away. It's the end-over-end kick. It's going to take a bounce. Detweiler, the return man, not going to touch this one. And so with 1:26 to go before halftime, Borah will take over at the 20. So once again, Mountain View going to get the ball to start things in the second half. So a Borah offense that's had a hard time moving the football is going to take the field once again here with 1:26 to go before halftime. I think Borah has only got it across midfield one time.
Yeah, one time, and they did a good job when they were doing it. They did it with a combination of running and passing. Tough part of this right now, if you're Borah, is okay. Schematically, how can we scheme around some of the stuff that Mountain View is throwing at us? But it's really hard to do in the middle of the game.
So 1st and 10 from the 20. McCarney back to throw, has time, throws this one over the middle, pass in and out of the hands of the receiver, almost intercepted. A flag comes in. Jacob Haley was the intended receiver.
Yeah, they're going to call him for targeting on this one because he went high, kind of led with his head on this, so they're going to get a 15-yard targeting. This is not an automatic ejection, though, in high school football.
Farnsworth was in coverage. Wyatt Farnsworth, the senior, was in coverage, came in hot as Haley had all kinds of room in front of him, but the pass was a little bit high, so Haley had to go up to try to receive it. And we'll get the call. And it is targeting. It is on Farnsworth, so 15-yard penalty, automatic first down. There for Borah, pushes the ball up to the 35. Again, like you said, Ryan Farnsworth still in the game, targeting, not an automatic ejection here in high school.
McCarney's showing good arm strength on this. He's been a little erratic at getting the ball to his guys at the right time. I think some of these he's made some reads, but at this point, that one's a little tighter, throws it down a little bit. I think the guy, his receiver, probably could have brought it down and run for a few more yards.
So 1:21 to go before halftime. Ball sitting at the 35. Between the hash marks, McCarney in the gun. Takes the snap, time over the middle, pass caught. Freeman is bumped forward to the 45. Close to another Lion first down. They give it to him. First down, Borah.
Yeah, and that was exactly what he needed to do. There was a quick zip, put it on a rope, and he led his man just perfectly. He led him away from the oncoming defender, kind of threw him back to him a little bit.
So first down and 10 once again here from the 45. McCarney back to throw again. Here comes pressure. Pass short. Freeman caught on the drag route. Dropped at the 48. Gain of a couple. Clock running. Under a minute to play.
Tackle guys in bounds is exactly what you're looking for. And great job by the Mountain View defense. Ran right with him. Let him complete the pass. So clock runs. Then tackle him in bounds.
Clock now down to 40 seconds as Borah takes the snap. McCarney under pressure. McCarney is going to go down. And now if you're Borah, we'll see if they're going to rule this incomplete.
Yeah, it looked a little bit like the Tom Brady tuck rule at that point.
All right, sure. So incomplete. Borah will not have to use a timeout because of the incompletion. 3rd and 7 coming up. 32 seconds to go before the half. Ball sitting at the Borah 48.
There was no time on that. The pocket collapsed almost instantly, and trying to push the ball down the field, you need a second longer, but good coverage downfield. He wasn't able. He didn't want to let it go. Smart choice. Needed to tuck it or dump it a little sooner, but hey, incomplete pass.
McCarney in the gun will take the snap on 3rd and 7. Home run ball down the far side is going to be incomplete. Led his receiver too far that time. 4th down coming up as he was looking for Sitzer.
Great coverage on the defense, and that was Caden Connors. He's just a junior. It looks like there is a flag, but I'm going to go ahead and give credit to Caden Connors there. He just ran in front of him. He didn't put his hand out. He just ran with him, kind of cut him off a little bit. That's how you play defense.
Oh, a bailout here for Borah, roughing the passer going against Mountain View. So what was a 4th down now turns into a 1st down plus 15 yards. Borah now within striking range at the 37.
Well, and this is what happens. You create penalties. You create when you start getting energy, when you start moving the ball with a little bit of urgency, you're starting to see good things happen for Borah.
McCarney takes the pass. Time to throw. Pass short. It's going to be incomplete. Was looking for Haley. I don't know if he lost it in the lights, or it almost looked like Haley didn't know where that ball was.
Yeah, that was bizarre. There is another flag, though.
We'll check the flag again. Second down and 10. 22 seconds to go before the half as we get the call here once again from the officials.
Yeah, Haley looked at that and he just kind of like brought it to his chest with nothing in his hands.
And this is going to be another personal foul against Mountain View, a hands to the face against Shiloh Jones, the junior. So back-to-back personal foul penalties gives Borah 33 ones, and the ball now sits at the 22.
At this point, you have options. You can start taking some shots into the end zone, especially when you only have 22 seconds left. You don't know how often. I think they took their timeout. That gives them one timeout left. So theoretically, you can make one completion in the middle of the field, and then you can either spike it or go up and call your timeout and then use the remaining time to take a shot in the end zone. Me personally, I almost like having a little bit more space to the end zone than, say, maybe a first and goal from the 7-yard line. A lot less room to work. But when you have 1st and 10 and you're at the 21-yard line, you can run some of those deeper routes. They have to respect more of the field and cover more of the field. Sometimes you can actually create a little bit more space, having more room to the end zone.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. I like having more space. When you're pinned up against the goal line, the field just shrinks. There's a lot less real estate for the defense to defend, right? When you're sitting here with 22 seconds and timeouts, by the way, on both sides, Mountain View 2 remaining, Borah with 1 remaining. So Borah is still a timeout to play with as both teams in their huddles on their sidelines. So that even more opens things up for Borah when you have a timeout, because now you have a halfback draw potentially in play as well.
Yeah, you can complete something in the middle of the field. Not everything has to be at the sideline or in the end zone. You have some options here, and you can still get a first down with still getting space. So, first and goal from the 10, I like that also more so than the first and goal from the 5.
So here we go, 1st and 10, McCarney back to pass. McCarney, time, steps up, running out of time, ball popped out. And now they're going to say his arm was moving forward. So an incomplete pass, 14 seconds to go before the half.
Again, Tom Brady smiling somewhere watching this game saying, I know that. I've seen that. So it's a break for Borah, but at this point, again, you got to keep looking down in the end zone. And from here on out, you have one chance. You have one timeout. Get it in the middle of the field, whatever you're going to do. But I realistically think you got to start looking at the end zone.
Yep, 14 seconds left. Borah 1 timeout. Ball sitting at the 22. McCarney back to pass. Has time. Slings this one middle of the field. Caught. Haley.
Perfect.
He's inside the 5. 8 seconds. It's down to 6 before Borah calls a timeout. No, they have not called the timeout, but clock does temporarily stop to reset the chains. They spike it with 4 seconds.
Maybe they'll put a second or two back on there, but that was actually, that was.
What do you think about that?
It was uncalled. Call your timeout.
Yeah,
what else are you going to use it for? You don't have enough time to do anything else. They really needed to call the timeout, but that was a good play. What they did, they ran a little post route on the outside because Mountain View was protecting the sideline. They created this big shell and forced everything to the inside. They took what the defense gave them.
Ball sitting at the 8, 4 seconds to go. This one goes to the end zone, pass deflected, falls to the ground, zeros up on the scoreboard, and that's it. That's halftime. Borah stopped inside the 10. The Mountain View defense will hold, and our halftime score, Mountain View 23, Borah nothing.
23-0, but that really doesn't tell even the tell of this game so far. It's been tough sledding for Borah to get down there, and the way they even got into the red zone and got so close to the end zone was via a plethora of penalties on the last drive. There's going to be a lot of good adjustments. We'll call it adjustments at halftime for the Borah side.
And we'll step aside here on IdahoSports.com. This is Treasure Valley Game Night presented by Mountain West Bank. Your halftime score, Mountain View 23, Borah nothing.
High school sports teams are known for their unity. No matter what's happening on the field, they stick together. Players, coaches, students, parents. One big family. That's why Mountain West Bank is so proud to sponsor Idaho high school sports. Today, tomorrow, together.
Some days, I choose the most difficult trail. I test my limits.
Taking the hard path isn't always easy, but I know it's the right way.
When I get done with my ride and I look back at what I've just accomplished, I feel amazing.
It takes courage and determination to do hard things.
But you can do them.
Quitting tobacco and vaping is possible.
You decide when. We'll show you how. Learn more at projectfilter.org or call 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
We're Valley-wide cooperative. For 100 years, we've been your first choice for residential and commercial propane, fuels, oils, and lubricants. We service HVAC, install water heaters, propane tanks, and accessories. And yes, we'll even deliver right where you need it. Because for us, serving is more than a job, it's a way of life. We are proud to employ your neighbors and to be a cornerstone of your community. We're Valley-wide. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. We're here for you.
My name's Tyler. I'm a pharmacist, and I live in Caldwell. A reason why I got vaccinated is because I wasn't just thinking about me and my health, is others around me. I'm a father, husband. I want to be there for my family. And then the other main choice is because of my parents are still alive, gratefully. They're both in their late 70s, both have major health conditions, and I wanted to protect them, so I chose to get the vaccine right away.
Vaping sucks you in quick, and the more you vape, the harder it is to quit. Not to mention all the chemicals and health problems. That's why thousands of teens are joining My Life, My Quit. Visit mylifemyquit.com or text Start My Quit to 36072.
Toyota, let's go places.
We're Valley-wide country store. For 100 years, we've been your #1 choice for food, fuel, farm supplies, and just about everything else you could need to get you through your day. We know you work until the job is done, and so do we. For gas on the go, or a little extra to help you get down the road, you can count on us. We are proud to employ your neighbors and to be a cornerstone of your community. We're Valley-wide. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. We're here for you.
No matter what life holds, we'll be there for you. Mountain West Bank. Today, tomorrow, together.
Halftime here at Mountain View High School. The Mavs holding a 23-0 lead over Borah. Lucas Gephardt and Ryan Luke here presenting Treasure Valley Game Night, presented by Mountain West Bank, live and free here on IdahoSports.com. Our major advertising partners tonight: Project Filter, Valley-wide Cooperative, the Idaho Transportation Department, the Idaho Department of Health and Welfare, Next Steps Idaho, and your local Toyota dealer. Our power boosters tonight are the College of Western Idaho, Evade Pest Management, Big Judd's Meridian, Pacific Residential Mortgage, Metro Appraisals, and Meridian Plumbing. Don't forget, you can make the memories made tonight last a lifetime by owning a digital file of this game for just $9.95. Click the button in the top right to order. You can also follow IdahoSports.com on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can get updates, breaking news, pictures, and more. Click on the icons on the top left to follow us now, as we are serenaded here at halftime by the Mountain View of Marching Band. So Ryan, sitting here at halftime, 23-0 Mountain View. The two touchdowns are a pair of Rogers touchdowns, a couple long touchdowns for the Mavs as Colin Rogers hauled one in from 32 and 27 yards. The other touchdown for Mountain View is a Justin McGee 1-yard touchdown run. Mountain View also added a safety into that mix as well, but I think really Mountain View's, I've been impressed with their defense so far, in particular their secondary.
Yeah, incredibly physical across the board. And like I said, you'll see these guys pushing people around all over the place. They're swarming the ball. And not only that, they're calling a good defense. They're keeping, at the end of that last drive for Borah, Mountain View kept everybody from the sidelines, made them run the clock out. Yeah, they gave up some terrible, penalties. I didn't see any of them. But they did a good job calling the defense, knowing what Borah was going to run against them. A lot of that has to do with the scouting report and seeing your team, and that's on the coaches putting their kids in the right places at the right time.
Yeah, for Mountain View, this one's got to feel good for them. They kind of gutted one out last week at Owyhee. They won that one 35-31. If you ask those who are well-sourced, I guess, with this Mountain View program. They might tell you that had a play or two not gone their way, they may not have won that game, and maybe even looked at starting the year as 0-3, as they started the year 0-2 with a loss at Meridian and Rocky Mountain. Rocky and Meridian, obviously, two of the top 3 teams in this latest state media poll. But for Mountain View, I mean, this is probably the best half of football they've put together all year.
Yeah, and they did it against a team that probably is not going to be competing for a state championship. Playing Rocky and Meridian, it was a little tougher sledding. You know, you're playing a little higher caliber of a team. Borah showing a lot of guts here. But you're right, and I think that we have to give credit where credit is due, because I think Owyhee is better than we'd say, because I just looked up the score. It's 6-0 Eagle over Owyhee at halftime, and that's at Eagle High School. You know, that's a touchdown away from being a different score, and so I think that Owyhee does bring a lot to the table. So if you're Mountain View and you're a fan, you're a coach, you're a player, you can say, hey, we found a way to win against a really good team, and good teams do that. They find ways to win, and they did that, and they pulled that off.
Yeah, and, well, we have a chance. You have any other scores from around
I do. So we have 23, CUNA 23 and Nampa 28. That's at halftime.
Okay.
And that's that's an interesting game when you're looking at this conference. And you're looking at this one.
CUNA and Napa, to me, are two teams in this pod they're still kind of mystery cards to me.
Yeah,
I don't quite know what to think of them yet. You know, Napa in particular. I don't think anyone saw what Nampa is doing right now. They're sitting at the top of the conference with a 2-1 record. If they win tonight, they move to 3-0 in the pod and 3-1 overall.
Yeah, but their one loss was to who? Do you know? Top of your head.
Oh, I can't think of it.
Bishop Kelly.
Bishop Kelly.
So they got thumped by Bishop Kelly badly.
Right.
Now, Bishop Kelly, don't underrate that. I mean, a fantastic 4A school.
Yeah.
They're contenders every year, right? So what does that say about Nampa? I don't know. I don't think we know. I think that we're still kind of up in the air trying to figure out exactly who this Nampa team is. And then you look at CUNA. CUNA was absolutely massive. There was a time when they were the largest school in the state. Yeah. Since then, you kind of peeled off some of the kids going to some different places. But they had a good program in place, took it to a state championship. At the 4A level, so you don't know, again, what you have in CUNA. You have the population base, and these kids are big, strong, tough. We'll call them country boys.
Yeah, sure.
So I don't know what we have. I mean, that game could be against two really good teams, and we'll call the Bishop Kelly loss somewhat of a fluke, or Bishop Kelly's really that good. I don't know. I don't know what we have.
Yeah, I mean, you look at this pod right now. We'll just run down the standings as we enter tonight. So Nampa obviously sits atop of the Rivers pod with a 2-0 conference record. Eagle, Mountain View tied for second with 1-0 records. They're both 1-2 overall. CUNA and Owyhee sitting in fourth place, tied for fourth with 1-1 records in the pod, but sit 3-1 overall. And then Borah sitting down in sixth place with a 0-2 record. That is last place in this pod, and a 2-2 overall record. So, kind of tying this back to what we have tonight makes this second half for Borah that much more important.
Yeah, it makes it that much more important. And what's going to be crazy is they may go out of this, they may have a 500 record, but not win very many games in their pod and miss the playoffs, even putting up a solid record this year. And that's just based on the pod records that you come out with and the standings that you have, and then you have the somewhat of the playoffs kind of going into that and trying to receive an at-large bid. This isn't a bad Borah team. I mean, they beat a couple of teams pretty handily. I did a Timberline game. Going into the season, I would have said, you know what, Timberline's kind of one of those sleeper teams. You have the Tier 1 teams, Mountain View, Rocky, Meridian, Eagle, Rigby. Those are your Tier 1s. Tier 2, I would have said Timberline was right there.
Yeah.
Turns out they haven't been playing that well this year, but Borah really, really exposed them. I mean, more so than any other team that they played at this point. And so what does that say about Borah? I think that they are a good team. I think that this is just an even better Mountain View team.
Yeah. Well, the only score I have was over from the east part of the state. I think you have a lot more scores there from around the state. You want to take us around a little bit?
Yeah, sure, as best I can. So you got to bear with me a little bit here. But so Hillcrest is losing to Skyline 29-3. Now that one's kind of interesting, I guess, for a lot of reasons, because the 4A, there are a lot of implications at that point. I did see, and you're going to have to bear with me here, Highland score. They were winning 14-7 at the halftime over Pocatello. And that one, again, has implications at the 5A level.
Yeah, and Pocatello, what is appearing to be a pretty good 4A team as well in the east part of the state.
Yeah, they played pretty well. They played They hung with Morgan, which is a 3A team out of Utah a couple weeks ago at the Rocky Mountain Rumble. They did a good job with that, but you got to understand, Morgan is a really good 3A team. They're a small team, so they've done a good job. And I think high school football on the eastern side of the state of Idaho is a little bit different breed. It's an extension of Utah. I mean, for all intents and purposes, I'm from eastern Utah, eastern Idaho. I'm from Shelley, if you know where Shelley is. And the Russets, home of the Russets. Didn't go to high school there, so I can't claim it. But it is an extension of that. So they do get a little bleed over of that Utah influence in the way that they play high school football. And some of the camps, they'll drop down and they'll play a lot of the camps down in the Salt Lake area along the Wasatch Front. So they get some of that spillover. This is a different style that we play here. I get it. You spread the ball, you throw the ball, you tackle, you block. It's all the same. But the feel's a little bit different. So there is an eastern Idaho, a North Idaho, and then there's with Coeur d'Alene, and then you have our area, Southwest, we'll call it Idaho. 3 different brands of football.
Yeah, and you look at high school football in the state of Idaho. I mean, Idaho's really kind of broken down into 3 sections, right? You have Southern Idaho, Eastern Idaho, and Northern Idaho. Like you could even break it down into Boise, Magic Valley / East Idaho, North Idaho.
Idaho, yeah. The line of delineations, right, at Twin Falls.
Yeah, right. But, yeah, I mean, looking around the rest of the state and the region tonight, Madison leading Thunder Ridge 28-7.
And that one's important, too, because Madison does well because realistically they're going to be playing against Hillcrest and Rigby, and they'll get 2 spots in from there. So depending on what Madison does the rest of the season, they'll get probably 2 slots into the playoffs.
Yeah.
They beat Rigby last year. They were the only loss of the season for Rigby going into the state playoffs. They lost the last game to Madison. This could have implications moving forward.
Yeah, Madison, a program that is historically very good over in the eastern part of the state. They came over here, played Owyhee to open up the season, and this was the day before I got married. Owyhee beat them, right?
Owyhee did beat them,
okay,
yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. I know
your mind was on something else, right? We get it. You had other things to think about, but come on.
I was going to say, I know I saw it scored somewhere, and I was like, I think it's Owyhee. But, you talk about a school like Owyhee, especially over in this part of the state, you have your perennial powers and what feels like it's virtually every sport, right? You have Mountain View, Rocky, Eagle. Really kind of the 3 West State powers. Owyhee is really kind of making a name for themselves to be maybe a 4th power over here in the West State of school.
Hey, you left out a major one, and that's Meridian.
Oh, there you go. Okay,
yeah,
sure.
So a 5th power, we'll call it that. But so the Owyhee story is a little bit interesting because if you look at where they cut and who they took from and where the school is located in the valley, they took Star.
Yeah.
They took big portions of Rocky, and they took just tiny 1 or 2 kids from Meridian. So the schools that were affected the most with Owyhee, and this is why they are so good, and this is why they're getting better, is, and again, they had open enrollment because they're trying to fill it, and that is coming to an end, but they took them from Rocky, and they took them from Eagle. Yep. Those are the 2 schools. And those 2, you talked about powerhouses in the valley, those 2 are powerhouses. And that's why that school has been such a, I guess, the acceleration. I mean, look, state basketball champions.
Yeah, 1 state baseball, too.
1 state baseball,
yeah.
Which we could go on about that. I don't know why there's not an official state.
The Mountain View faithful may have a bit of a beef.
A bit of a beef on that one.
With that. That one came to, we'll call it a controversial end.
To say the least.
Yeah. So, all right, we'll step aside here for a couple minutes, about 3.5 back up on the clock before we kick things off to begin the second half. Mountain View has taken the field. Borah still to take the field. Your halftime score, Mountain View 23, Borah nothing.
My name's Tyler. I'm a pharmacist, and I live in Caldwell. A reason why I got vaccinated is because I wasn't just thinking about me and my health, is others around me. I'm a father, husband. I want to be there for my family. And then the other main choice is because of my parents are still alive, gratefully. They're both in their late 70s, both have major health conditions, and I wanted to protect them, so I chose to get the vaccine right away.
We're valley-wide country store. For 100 years, we've been your #1 choice for food, fuel, farm supplies, and just about everything else you could need to get you through your day. We know you work until the job is done, and so do we. For gas on the go, or a little extra to help you get down the road, you can count on us. We are proud to employ your neighbors and to be a cornerstone of your community. We're valley-wide. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow, we're here for you.
Some days, I choose the most difficult trail. I test my limits.
Taking the hard path isn't always easy, but I know it's the right way.
When I get done with my ride and I look back at what I've just accomplished, I feel amazing.
It takes courage and determination to do hard things.
But you can do them.
Quitting tobacco and vaping is possible.
You decide when. We'll show you how. Learn more at projectfilter.org or call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. High school sports teams are known for their unity. No matter what's happening on the field, they stick together. Players, coaches, students, parents. One big family. That's why Mountain West Bank is so proud to sponsor Idaho high school sports. Today, tomorrow, together.
Just about set to kick things off here for the third quarter. Lucas Gebhardt and Ryan Luke here for IdahoSports.com, bringing you coverage of this SIC Rivers Showdown live and free on IdahoSports.com. It is Treasure Valley Game Night presented by Mountain West Bank. While we have a moment here, we'll run over a couple halftime stats we got. We'll start with Mountain View passing. The Mountain View quarterback here, Dawson Wall, is 11 for 13, 160 yards. 2 passing touchdowns as well, both of those to Colin Rogers. On the ground, Mountain View 50 rushing yards in that first half for a total of 210 total yards. Borah, on the other hand, McCarney 11 of 18 for 73 yards. On the ground, the Lions only managed to muster 20 yards on the ground, 93 total yards in that first half. There's one thing that Mountain View might be winning. It's the penalty yards. Mountain View 115 penalty yards in that first half. Borah only had 20.
Yeah, and 60 penalty yards on that last drive alone against Mountain View. Borah did have that turnover with the interception on that screen pass they were trying to throw out to the left. And I don't think that this is an indictment of Borah's offense or hustle or kids or anything like this. I think this is more of a reflection of the quality of football that Mountain View plays, top to bottom. We're talking offensively and defensively, because the truth is they gave up 3 touchdowns is what they gave up, the Borah defense. And this is a Mountain View team that realistically could probably put more points on the board. So they've kind of hung pretty well. I mean, I'm not going to take anything from you. You don't want to be down 23-0. But if you want to take a small win from this, just know that you've kept a huge offense and a potential state champion contender in check, semi in check. We'll say semi in check, relatively in check for the first half.
All right, Oscar Morales for Borah kicking this one off. They kick from right to left. This one kicks all the way back to the 1. Akeley going to bring it out for Mountain View down the near sideline, brought down at the 28-yard line. A penalty marker does sit at the 34.
Yeah, there was a bad penalty. It was going to be on number 8. Kind of wrangled the guy down a little bit. 8 for Mountain View, and that's the linebacker Mason Childs, who did have that pick in the first half. And these guys are so physical. They're just pushing these Borah players all over the field. And, right, wrong, or indifferent, legal or illegal, they're pushing them all over the field.
Yeah. And another Mountain View penalty here. It's going to be a hold on the return. So the Akeley return wiped that out, and they'll spot it at the 17.
I lied. That was Maximus Miley who had that penalty, I believe. Maximus Miley, son of one of the Boise State coaches, Frank Miley.
Oh, really?
Yes, sir. Came from Utah State. He was the interim coach before Coach Anderson. Not Coach Anderson. Well, Utah State's current head coach. How's that?
There you go.
Got hired from Arkansas State. Why can't I think of his name?
We'll see how long. He's still the head coach of Utah State. Lost a Weber.
That was a bad loss, too.
Yeah. So 1st and 10 here for Mountain View as they're inside their own 20. Handoff McGee up the middle, bulldozes his way across the 20 to the 22.
Mountain View has the luxury of being pretty vanilla at this point, right? Bulldoze your way forward, lean on these guys who've been playing both ways for one half against a pretty tough offensive line. I don't think you deviate too much from the game plan if you're Mountain View.
Yeah, I mean, why do anything else and just grind things out? They go back to McGee up the middle, a gain of a couple, but it is enough. Well, not enough for a first down. They're going to be about 3 yards short of it.
Yeah, eyeballing it, I'd say they're roughly, just barely 4 yards short.
Yep. So empty set here for Wall on third down, and they're calling it 5. Wall, quick pass, trying to find McGee. It's dropped by McGee. The pass was around his knees. So a quick 3 and out for Borah to start things here in the third quarter, forcing a quick Mountain View punt.
Dawson Wall got a little excited on that when he chucked it right at his defense. I mean, when I say chuck it, he put way too much mustard on it. It was a tough pass to haul in. His receiver, he did throw a little behind him, so he wasn't able to continue running. He kind of had to turn back a little bit for that on that slant route.
Yeah, maybe needed to throw the changeup instead of the fastball there.
Yeah, slider. Make it slide with him, and so he could run on.
There you go. Yeah. Borah brings pressure on the punt. They almost get to it. Instead, Detweiler calling for a fair catch at his own 44. And so then Borah will now bring their offense onto the field for the first time here in the second half.
And I'm going to give Detweiler a credit. He stared his own death in the eyes, and he said, I am going to take the fair catch on this one because there was nothing but black coming at him, and they were coming at him hot, and he said, you know what, this isn't worth it. This isn't worth it. Fair catch, live to die another day.
Yeah. So Borah is going to start their first drive of the second half at its own 45-yard line. An offense that managed just 93 total yards in the first half. They begin things by throwing. It's going to be a first down and a lot more. Pass was across the middle down to the 24-yard line. Trace Freeman, the senior receiver, gives the Lions offense a bit of a jolt.
That one's going to be called an RPO, the run-pass option on that one. But I think the whole time he was planning on his man breaking free because he came right in front of the linebacker, and there was just a ton of space.
Yeah, just a quick slant there for Freeman out of the slot. A big gain on first down puts the Lions at the Mountain View 24. McCarney back to pass again over the middle. This one, we'll see what they say, is caught. And Sitzer is the one who hauled that one in. It's a gain of about 8.
Yeah, so after a stop on defense, you can see a little life in Borah at this point.
Yeah.
Throwing the ball, and they're doing it by throwing it into the zones, into the open spaces right now. And those, maybe that's the adjustment they made. They're saying just run to the open space.
Handoff Rushton on first down. He is close to the 10 on this 1st and 10 coming from the 16. It's a pickup of about 3 or 4 and enough for a Borah first down. So I believe this is the first trip to the red zone for Borah tonight as well.
Yeah, first organic trip to the red zone.
Sure, yeah.
First organic on their own, moving the ball, moving the sticks, and they've done it with some pretty good play calling and some good plays. Mountain View now sucking it up a little bit, trying to cut off some of those runs and slants.
1st and 10, they play action screen pass out to the near side. Freeman doesn't have a whole lot to work with there, may have lost a yard.
Yeah, but keep it up. I like this. That RPO or that play action is kind of tough to decipher what they're actually really doing if it is a design pass or run. But at this point, we'll call it the RPO, but keep it up, keep the defense guessing which way the ball is going to go.
2nd and 11, ball sitting at the 13. They can get a first down. Across the middle, this pass caught by Haley, and he's going to be a couple yards short of the first down marker. It is inside the 5 to the 4, so 3rd down coming up here for Borah.
Haley ran a little post on that, a little skinny post, and he didn't know it, but he ran a heck of a route. He put his foot in the ground. He got the receiver, or the defensive back turned, and then just hauled it in with his body all the way to the ground.
Big 3rd down coming up here for Borah. 3rd down and 2 from the 4. Under 9 minutes to play, 3rd quarter. McCarney in the gun. Man in motion going to the far side. Handoff Rushton. Rushton bouncing off tacklers towards the pylon. We'll see what the ruling is. He's right on the goal line. It's a first down, but not a touchdown.
Boy, that was a lot of heart on that one, and you can see the big boys up front just working their guts out. Rushed and tough to bring down. I think his forward momentum was stopped more so than he was tackled.
McCarney now going under center. 1st and goal from the 1. McCarney quarterback sneak on 1st and goal. No signal. Here come the officials in from the side. Still no signal.
It's going to be 2nd and goal from the 1 centimeter line.
Yeah.
As close as you get to the line without actually calling it a touchdown.
And now we have an injured Borah Lion. Appears to be okay. He's already back up on his feet.
He's good, he says.
Yep.
Just throw some dirt on it. In this case, some of those rubber pellets they use in the turf. Just rub some pellets on it, and we'll call it a day.
8:10 to go, 3rd quarter. 2nd and goal from the 1, as they did get a first down a couple plays ago. So 2nd and goal from what is quite literally the inch line.
It doesn't get any closer than this. See, and I don't like this. You take it from a shotgun, you're already taking it 5 yards back.
Handoff, Rushton up the middle, touchdown, Borah. They needed that.
Yeah, and what do I know, right? Take it from the shotgun, hand it to your bell cow, and let him go up inside. He didn't get touched. Hey, the left side of the offensive line did a really good job collapsing down, and then the defense kind of came upfield, leaving a huge hole underneath that he ran to over that left side. Ironically, it was the starting left guard that left the game injured, so the backup came in and did a great job pushing him around.
Yeah, ran it off left guard, too.
They ran it right off left guard.
So on for the extra point now is Morales. Snap a little high, extra point low, but still good. And the score now, Mountain View 23, Borah 7 with under 8 minutes to play now in the 3rd quarter, 7:53 to go. And a nifty little drive there by the Lions.
Yeah, fantastic drive. And you just feel the energy, right? They're popping up off of after tackles. They're moving the ball forward. Quarterback seeing things a little bit differently. And if you're Mountain View, you kind of say, whoa. What just happened? We just bullied these guys around for 1 half. What happened? Where did this come from, this type of energy? And you know what? I don't, again, this is Borah stepping up more so than I'd say imposing its will on Mountain View. I think this is Borah saying, hey, we're not going to go down without a fight.
Yeah, it almost seemed like Mountain View kind of came out in that, particularly that second half possession. It was a 3-and-out for the Mavs, but it almost seemed like they kind of came out and kind of 4-minute offense mode. Just like, let's grind some clock. Let's make sure we don't have any injuries. Let's get out of here with a home win. And, all of a sudden you have a 3-and-out, bing, bang, boom, Borah's in the end zone, and it's a 2-score game.
Yeah, when you turn it around like that, and you can make a stop, and it was a big stop, like you said. I even said it. Hey, why change the game plan, right? Grind it out, take some time.
Right.
Thinking that defensively you're going to be able to do the same thing, but the Borah coaches handed to him, put a little bit of urgency into him. And I also like that they ran with some tempo, right? A little bit of pace. Keep Mountain View off the field, keep them on their heels a little bit, and then go to what you do best. And I'll tell you what, the quarterback looked crisp. He started throwing to spots versus throwing to receivers.
Yeah, that's a very good point. And there were a couple big plays that Borah had ripped off, in particular that quick slant to Freeman, which really kind of jump-started the drive. As Borah now getting set to kick things off from the 40. As the kicker, Oscar Morales, tees this up. Borah wearing their away whites with yellow pants and yellow helmet. The green lion on the helmets with green numbers. Mountain View in the all blacks with neon numbers and silver helmets here tonight. Morales kicks this one off. It's going to push the return man McBride back all the way to the 1. McBride, as flags come out at the 15, is going to be stopped at the 15. Just a 14-yard return there for Mountain View.
Yeah, there's going to be a block in the back on that. That's super superb, we'll call it that. Superb special teams play. That was a directional kick. He kicked it in the bottom corner, near sideline into the corner without going out of bounds and the return was a return left. He had to go clear across the field because they were setting up their blockers on the far side. And then the kick team came down and had great coverage on that.
Yeah, so they picked the flag up. So the ball's going to sit on the far hash as the Mountain View offense comes out for its second drive of the second half. A 3-and-out last time out for the Mavs. 7:45 to go, 3rd quarter. Our score 23-7. Mountain View in their home blacks As an update, wow, Eagle is now putting it on Owyhee, 27-0 in the fourth quarter. Wow, that was 6-0 at half, right?
Yeah, that went quick.
Wow. Wall empty set, has time to throw. Wall steps up in the pocket. Home run ball down the far side, incomplete. He was looking for Cobb, let him a step too far. If they connect, that's 6.
So that ball just traveled 55 yards in the air.
That's a long ways.
That's a long ways at the high school level.
Right.
And he did it almost effortlessly. I'm telling you, kid has a big arm.
Yeah. Wall showing off the arm on that last one. The 6'4", 205 senior quarterback here for Mountain View. Standing in the shotgun on 2nd and 10. He'll throw once again under pressure. Short screen, McGee nowhere to go. A short gain of about 3.
Wow, great stop. And the defender did a good job of sticking with his man. He was the spy, and that was number 6. That was Henry Hill. The linebacker, he stuck with his man. He had coverage. He was a spy on the running back out of the backfield, slipped through the blocks, and just made a great tackle.
3rd and 6, 7:15 to go, third quarter. Empty set for Wall on 3rd down. Wall, quick throw, almost intercepted by Borah. Haley had that one hit him right in the numbers, but he wasn't looking for it, so it drops to the ground. That would have been a big-time turnover.
Boy, that thing came so quick to him, he didn't even know. He wasn't expecting it. Wall threw the route that he thought his receiver was going to run. That was a miscommunication. That looked like he was trying to run an out. The guy ran it in, and the defender was sitting back there. He was trying to cross. Wall was expecting his receiver to cross-face the defender. Didn't happen, and luckily had a drop ball.
Detweiler standing back at his own 40-yard line as Mountain View gets set, or Borah rather, gets set to punt. This punt, a spiraling kick, will take a bounce at the 48 and takes a favorable Borah bounce to the 49. So here comes the Borah offense once again. They'll spot this thing at the Mountain View 48. It was a quick and snippy drive last time out for the Lions, and if they can do that again, oh boy, we have a game.
Yeah, we do have a game, but just the energy level that Borah's bringing to the game right now, we almost wrote them off, me included.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask for a little forgiveness out there to you Borah fans. I didn't see this coming in the second half, but, hey, that's a good coach getting his team ready to play in the second half.
Yeah, J.Q. Kenyon obviously making some good halftime adjustments before he took over as head coach for Borah. Spent the last 6 seasons as an assistant coach for Borah. Also spent some time as an assistant at Twin Falls. So obviously that coaching staff making some adjustments. 1st and 10. McCarney back to throw. Deep pass down the near sideline. Incomplete. As that one wasn't, was looking for Nicholas Call rather on the play, and that one was about maybe 10 or 15 yards too far for Call.
You're going to have a tough time throwing the ball deep on this Mountain View defense. They have such good speed on the corners, and they're a really good man coverage team. Really, really good man coverage team. So unless you're going to get something close to them and maybe fight for pass interference or something like that, they're going to have a tough time pushing the ball down the field.
2nd down and 10 from the 49. McCarney back to pass, swing pass, Rushton near side. Rushton now dancing across the Mountain View logo down to the 46. Only picks up about 2 yards. So 3rd down coming up. This is probably 4-down territory here for Borah.
Yeah, you have nothing to lose at this point. So if that's the case and you already have it in your head, hey, we get positive yards, we're going to go for 4th down. All you need is a 4 or 5 yard play at this point.
3rd down and 8 from the 46. Senior quarterback McCarney looking to the far sideline for the call. Twins receivers each side for Borah. Rushton standing to McCarney's left. McCarney takes the knee-high snap. McCarney pumps once, throws far side. Pass is dropped by Freeman.
That took a long time getting over to the far side of the field. A little quicker break on that. That was a pick 6, and there was nobody going there. But that being said, he still had a chance to make that, and his man fell down. He could have turned upfield on that. Just a long play to develop to get it over to the side of the field.
So now on 4th and 6, Borah going to try to play the field position game here, the punt unit on the field. As they get ready to punt this thing away with 6:11 to go in the 3rd quarter. Snap a little high. McCarney able to haul it down and get the punt away. Catching this one on the run is Patwell. Patwell, some room down the far hash, is stopped at the 35 by McCarney, who actually punted that thing.
Yeah, Patwell showing a lot of athleticism. He's done that a couple of times. Some of those jump stops, very slippery. Yeah, and I'll tell you what, on that one, let's see, so apologies on that one. If McCarney, I said McBride, but if McCarney says we have him listed here at 6'4", if he's 6'3", that thing goes over the top of his head. He just had to leap to stop that in order to make the punt on that play.
Yeah, so Mountain View are going to take over now at the 35. With that punt return, Borah really only gave up 10 yards.
10 yards
position,
net, yeah.
as opposed to if they would have gone for it and not gotten it. Instead, 1st and 10, Mountain View from their own 35. Handoff McGee, left side, picks up about 3. Marked down at the 38.
38, and again, big boys up front moving the ball. It actually looks like Mountain View's going back to the well on this one and saying, hey, we're going to impose our will a little bit on you, and we can still burn this clock.
Under 6 minutes to play, third quarter. Wall in the gun. McGee to his right. Play action, they throw a screen pass near side. This is Patwell as he gets a first down to the 48-yard line.
Patwell, nifty moves out there, and he's shown it a few times.
First down for the Mavs. They mark it down at the 48. Mountain View still running that no-huddle offensive set. 5.5 to go, third quarter. Wall shotgun set. This time they give to McGee. A lot of room up the middle. McGee just tripped up at the 45. Falls forward to the 43, maybe the 44.
Yeah, a little bit of a delayed handoff, and it was great watching McGee on that one. He just stuck his head down. He tucked the ball and ran as hard as he could through the hole as he saw it opening up.
Second and short. Speed option. Pitch McGee. They're coming near side. Cross the numbers and pushed out of bounds across the 40. That's going to be good enough for a Mountain View first down.
Yeah, first down, and that's he showed a little bit of breadth in terms of play calling on the Mountain View side. Now we're seeing a little bit of a speed option. Wall, big kid, good athlete.
Whistle and timeout taken by Mountain View. Interesting choice to take a timeout. I was just about to make the point how this offense seemed like it was humming a little bit.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, they choose to use the timeout. So 2 timeouts left for Mountain View. Borah still with all 3 timeouts. 5 minutes to go, third quarter. Our score 23-7. Mountain View with the lead and the ball. You are listening to Treasure Valley Game Night presented by Mountain West Bank and brought to you by our major advertising partners, Project Filter, Valley-Wide Cooperative, the Idaho Transportation Department, the Idaho Department of Health and Welfare, Next Steps Idaho, and your local Toyota dealer. Don't forget, you can make the memories made tonight last a lifetime by owning a digital file of this game for just $9.95. Just click the button at the top right to order now.
Talked a little bit about the Eagle football team and then laying the wood a little bit to Owyhee at this point. I say, Eagle came into the season with a little bit of said a little bit about 3 times there, I'm sorry. Came in with somewhat of an identity crisis at quarterback. They had 2 capable quarterbacks, but they really didn't know who was going to start, and it looks like they're settling in a little bit at this point. I do know that both quarterbacks are taking snaps, but they do have this idea or this problem of, okay, well, which one's better, and trying to build some fluidity around that quarterback.
All set to go out of the timeout. 1st and 10 from the Mavs at the 39. McGee coming near side, crosses the numbers, now down towards the sideline, is pushed out at the 34. Gain of about 4, maybe 5 yards on first down.
So Jacob Haley's missed a couple of balls that have been thrown to him, but he just laid a form tackle on McGee, and he stopped him dead in his tracks. Head was up, he hit him across with the shoulders. It was fantastic.
Wall going to throw now. Throws this one down the near side. Cobb is there. Caught. Touchdown, Mountain View. No, they say he's out. Cobb caught that 2 hands. I thought he got a foot in from up here, but the official hugging the sideline on the near side said no. Said he was out of bounds. So incomplete. 3rd down coming up.
Wall showing us all kinds of arm talent on this. He dropped the ball on a fade route on the near sideline right into the end zone. There was no other place he could have put it.
So 3rd down and 8. Wall going to throw once again. Has a quick out. Pass is caught and has the first down for Mountain View. That's Colin Rogers, the senior, already 2 touchdowns tonight, now has a first down in the Mountain View offense on the move here in the third quarter, 4:22 to go.
Dawson Wall put that one on a rope again, showing his throws all over the field. That was a 12-yard out. That's a tough throw on the far side of the field, and he just put it on a rope to his receiver.
4:10 to go as Wall brings his troops to the line once again. Third quarter, Mountain View holding a 23-7 lead, knocking on the door of the red zone here. Back to McGee. McGee dancing far side is across the 20 and brought down at the 16. Under 4 minutes to play now, third quarter.
A little bit of that wind taken from the Borah sails after a tough drive like this, and they're just doing it at will at this point. Big chunks of yardage.
2nd and 4 for Wall and the Mountain View Mavs. Wall in the gun, high snap, play action. Wall rolling near side, passes caught and brought down at the 10. Is the Mountain View receiver Rogers once again. Rogers maybe a little slow to get up here. Or pardon me, that was Cass Nelson, the tight end for Mountain View, now coming out of the game, holding a wrist.
Yeah, wrist, elbow area. Detweiler did the tackle. He did the only thing he could do to get him down and went for his legs. Let's see, the tight end up over the top. He landed directly on that elbow. That's kind of a scary sight when it hits like that. Now he's not doing well over there. Hate to predict anything on that, but that didn't look good.
Yeah, Nelson did pick up a first down for the Mavs, so 1st and goal from the 9. Speed option, pitch, McGee. McGee has room down the near sideline. This time it's a Mountain View touchdown.
Great blocking upfield by the receivers and releasing to that next level. Kind of created a wall. McGee took it to the end zone, took it right to that corner, and that speed option to the near side of the field, the short side, is designed specifically for that. I'm going to run it at an angle, and I'm going to only need 6 yards, 5 yards, and that's all he needed, and that's all he got.
So the McGee touchdown, a 9-yard touchdown run for McGee. It's his 2nd of the night. His other one was from just a yard away. Puts the Mavs up 29-7, 3:14 to go here in the third quarter. Connington on for the extra point. Connington waits for the snap. Snap is good. Hold is good. A kick is also good. The lead for Mountain View back to 3 scores now. 30-7. 3:14 to go in the third quarter. And as we make our way here through the middle of September, teams starting to separate themselves a little bit here in the standings. Coming into tonight, you're looking at the SIC, particularly the Rivers division, which is the one that both of these schools in. Mountain View entering tonight with a 1-0 record in conference play, 1-2 overall. I think Mountain View really felt like they had something to prove a little bit here tonight.
Yeah, they did. And in imposing their will on that last drive just kind of gives you a little bit of the talent that they have on this team and the ability to do that. And they did that with a variety of throws all over the field. We talked about Dawson Wall throwing the deep ball almost for the touchdown, put it on a dime. Then he turned around and he just threw an absolute bullet across the field on a 12-yard out. Then they ran a speed option out of the shotgun and take it to the end zone for a touchdown. That type of diversity on offense, being able to call what you need to call, shows why this Mountain View team is a contender.
Yeah, so Connington has this thing teed up. I'm going to say a touchback is coming up here. That's all he's done all year.
Let's see it, man. Split the uprights. You got this, buddy.
He waits for the whistle. Here he comes now. And, yeah, this one just short of the uprights.
Somebody needs to talk to him. He's got to work on that. That's ridiculous to not split the uprights after he's kicking off. Kid has a big leg.
Yeah, and talking with some of the Mountain View folks here tonight, and they say, yeah, Connington, he's touchback every time.
Every time, and that's a weapon too if you're a coach, and knowing they're going to start at the 20-yard line every single time. So we have to defend 80 yards. That's it. That's all we have to defend. Yeah. We don't have to defend, 30 yards in or whatever. They have to go the full 80 yards. That's a complete weapon. Now, if this kid learns to kick directionally and pop those suckers up and put them in the end zone, sometimes you can, in the corner of the field, you can pin some of these teams down deep.
Yeah, the kicker can come up huge, particularly at state playoff time as Rushton gets the handoff here, gains 5 up to the 25. I mean, just ask any Boise area school that played Highland in the playoffs last year. Oh, my goodness. Ian Hershey now kicking for Idaho State over in Pocatello, but he had just a couple game winners in back-to-back weeks.
Yeah, I mean, he single-handedly pushed Highland through to the state championship, which, you know, great team. I think they overachieved a little bit on that level and hand it to the special teams.
Back to pass. McCarney is going to take off and run. Is upended at the 39. Was able to hold on to that thing, but that's one of the, I don't know if you play Madden at all, but when the quarterback takes off to run and you lay a hit stick, that's what that was.
Well, especially when he comes off his feet, it's a lot easier to make it look like a big hit. He really didn't get hit that hard. He got bumped, but it looked good on tape.
2.5 to go, third quarter. Borah does pick up the first down on the McCarney run, so.
Yeah, but we're seeing organic offense now. We're starting to see Borah, get in line. We talked about some of the small wins. And this is a small win, being able to move the ball consistently against a great Mountain View defense. I call this a win in the Borah book.
McCarney, quick pass, Freeman. Freeman's got some room across the 40 near the first down. It's a pickup of at least 9. We'll see where they mark it if they give him the first down. But Freeman on the reception, they do just give him 9 yards. So 2:05 to go, third quarter. And now here come the athletic trainers as an injured Mav laying at the 45.
Yeah, Ackley took it. He was in on that tackle, or he got blocked downfield. Oh, it's a cramp at this point. Yeah, they're giving him the old cramp treatment, which they pull your leg up and push your calf down.
Yeah.
That hurts.
They're not fun.
They are not fun.
Yeah. I've had them running track a couple times. I used to get them in my calves. Those are not fun.
We talked about this last week, and I had one time we were playing, and this was high school football. I was playing a game in high school football, and they literally gave me pickle juice. It was disgusting. They said, go drink it. I said, look, guys, there's this thing called Gatorade.
Yeah.
Hydration, electrolytes. And instead they gave me the pickle juice. Yeah, it was tough sledding after that. I really didn't want to go back in because I thought, if I get another cramp, you know what they're going to give me? I got to drink pickle juice.
As they still attend to Ackley there on the sideline working out his cramp. We talked a little earlier about Mountain View and how this is a team that last year, there's no question about it, this is a team that wanted to win a state championship, felt like they could have done it. They got upset in the quarterfinals by Meridian on this field. Turned it over to U.S. Mountain View. They turned it over way too many times.
Yeah, but the thing is they ran into a juggernaut at that point. Meridian was really on fire. They come into their own. They had the older Martinez brother back, and they started playing well. In fact, last year, first game of the season was here, and it was Meridian and Mountain View, and Mountain View won because of a missed extra point.
Oh yeah,
by Meridian. So if you were to ask Meridian and some of the people around the Meridian program, Mountain View program, coming into this said, oh my gosh, we're undefeated, but it's kind of like with what do they call it, Band-Aids and bubble gum at this point.
So all set to go here. First down and 10 for Borah. McCarney over the middle. This should be a pass interference. There it is. 2 flags come in at the 45 across midfield. As that will give Borah another first down. But you look at this Mountain View team as a program. The last time this team, outside of last year, before then, the last time they had not gone to at least the state semifinals, you got to go back to 2014. A program that only has one state championship back in 2014. But a program that maybe also feels like they should have a couple more than just that one.
Yeah, they feel like in their mind that they have kind of missed out, right? Like they've underachieved to a certain degree. I mean, in 2020 they went 5-4 and still ran it to the semis.
Yeah.
Before that, 8-3 went to the quarterfinals. Before that, 8-3 the Highland. And 2016 was the last state championship that they won. At this point, like I said, it's state championship or bust because they've been able to build such a solid program with a lot of really good foundational pieces. I know they work hard in the offseason. They're in the weight room, and they're doing all kinds of stuff to get better.
Speed option coming near side, pitch to Rushton. Rushton breaks 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 tackles before he's pushed out at the 36. We haven't really seen Rushton get free much tonight, but that run in particular is he just threw a stiff arm and threw about 3 Mavs to the turf on that 5-yard run, but that shows his ability.
Yeah, we talked about at the beginning of of the program with him, it's the first tackler is not going to get him down. You have to gang tackle this guy. So if he gets individual tacklers, he kind of smiles at that. Great balance and a good use of a stiff arm.
Yeah, got to get bodies to the ball carrier to bring a ball carrier like Rushton down a couple weeks ago in that game against Nampa. 20 carries, 136 yards, and a touchdown for Rushton. McCarney back to throw here on second down. McCarney in trouble, throws back across his body. This one is intercepted. Wyatt Farnsworth coming up with the turnover for the Mavs, brought down at the 34.
Ooh, young quarterback error, throwing back across his field as he's scrambling right, throwing across his body. That ball sails every single time, unless you're Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen, somebody, Justin Herbert with an absolute howitzer for an arm. It's tough to push that ball back to the spot that you think you're throwing. It's always going to float with you, and coaches tell their quarterbacks all the time, don't do that. Don't throw against your body. Throw the thing away. Just don't throw it back.
Right.
Across your body.
Yeah, well, especially now as we sit here with 1:29 to go, third quarter, Borah's starting to run out of possessions.
Yeah, run out of possessions, especially because you got to stop this team that's essentially going to take the ball for another 6-7 minutes down the field, and then all of a sudden you're seeing yourself, well, hey, we have 2 possessions left.
Right. So 1st and 10 for Mountain View at the 34. Back to McGee they come. Flag flies as McGee comes down the near hash. He is close to the first down. We'll have to check the marker. That flag screams holding.
Yeah, that was a holding. They ran that run blitz, so they ran the blitz, and they brought everybody up. The offensive lineman at that point grabbed the guy because he knew he was going to break into that backfield so quickly. They weren't even going to be able to get the handoff off. So sometimes it's a salvation hold to keep your teammate from losing a limb. Losing a limb at that point.
Losing a limb or, the ball.
Or
too.
the ball, which, for Mountain View, they'd rather you lose a limb than the ball.
Right. Yeah, no kidding. So the hold is going to push Mountain View back to the 23-yard line. 22, we'll call it. Screen pass, near side, pass caught. This is Collins, and he's pushed out at the 26.
Going to be a block in the back on that one. The defender got in front of the blocking receiver, and he just pushed him right into that. At that point, that's the one where you hold your hands up and just stand there and say, hopefully I can you become a screen if you get past me.
Yeah, so Colin Rogers on the reception there. We'll check the marker again as the officials come together, and the penalties. Mountain View has played well tonight, defensively, offensively, but the penalties starting to pile up here for the Mavs.
Yeah, and that's if you're going to critique this game, that's an area you have to look at. You have to say, guys, we got to play a little cleaner game, especially if we're playing a team that's really competitive. That did hurt them versus that Rocky, the last game that they lost versus Rocky, were some of those penalties, some of the things that were preventable. You talk about controlling the controllables, and at that point, this is where Mountain View probably can control a little bit more of those controllables, albeit they're doing it against a team that they overpower, they overmatch. Against a better team, those things will come back to bite you in the loss column.
Yeah, so the ball now sitting at the 13. It's 1st and 31 for Mountain View. Pass far side is going to be caught by the Mavs. This is going to get some of that yardage back as I look for a number to see who caught that. He's in
number 15.
There we go. 15 is Braden Edwards.
Yeah, that was a goofy play from the beginning. The snap popped up. It was slow. Nobody knew if the snap was on. The defensive line didn't rush, and he threw it clear across the field again with that big arm that he has, able to complete the pass. But that looked a little awkward from the get-go.
Under a minute to play here in the third quarter. 2nd and long for Mountain View. Delayed handoff. McGee up the middle, slips out of one tackle, out towards the 30, still on his feet to the 33. And that's going to be a gain of about 10 on the draw, but it still leaves about a 3rd and 11 coming up for Mountain View as the penalties coming back to haunt the Mavs here.
Again, they'll be okay in this game, but what does that look like in the future?
Sure, yeah. 3rd down and 12, they're calling it. Man in motion coming far to near side. Wall rolling near. Wall on the run, has his pass caught by McGee across the 40. Short of the first down as McGee is hit hard out of bounds as Henry Hill, the senior linebacker, land the lumber.
Yeah, he put his head down. He stopped him, and that was a big time tackle because directionally he took him sideways instead of forward. I mean, he couldn't finish that play forward. If he finishes forward, he maybe leans into it, but Hill made sure he went out of bounds.
Mountain View keeping the offense on the field here on 4th and 3. 19 seconds to go in the third quarter. We'll see if the clock not moving because they went out of bounds. So they're gonna run a play here. 4th and 3. And now whistle, and they won't run a play. Timeout, Mountain View.
Do you get the feeling that they're kind of experimenting at this point?
A little bit.
A little
it
bit.
Kind of feels like that, yeah.
A little scrimmagey at this point, like saying, hey, we're going to line up for this, maybe try this and that. With the game basically in hand, being able to do what you want. I mean, they've refrained from taking shots at this point because, quite frankly, they don't need to. But it feels like at this point they're kind of experimenting, throwing the ball over the field, maybe running some different looks, same play, different formation.
Yeah, I mean, Mountain View, you look at the schedule coming down the stretch. They have Boise next week, and then you have a couple tough road games. The 30th, I believe you and I are doing that game at CUNA on the 30th in a couple weeks.
Yeah, that's right.
So we'll be on the call for that one. Then they travel to Eagle on October 7th. Close the season at home against Nampa, which is proving to be a tough task as well. This is a program that hopes and expects to be in the 5A SIC championship there at the end of October.
Yeah, we just got a stat here from our esteemed statistician on the side here, Steve, statistician Steve. 160 penalty yards on Mountain View at this point. This is sloppy football.
Yeah. So 4th and 3, Mountain View going to punt out of the timeout. A high arching punt. Makes a hop at the 15, and this thing is going to take a Mountain View roll to the 10.
And I should have called that. I wanted to pull my Tony Romo on that because I've seen Dawson Wall do that too many times and predicted the play. But he steps back and he actually has a great leg. I mean, he is their punter. I mean, they bring a punter out, but if they really want distance or anything like that, they really don't have to run anybody off the field. Now on the return though, that's where you call. There are a lot of terms you say, but Peter's one of them, and you can call all kinds of stuff. But he darn near got on the ricochet. And I didn't see the return man on that. That was number 9. I think that was Trace Freeman. He needed to get out of the way on that one. About punched him in the face with the ball. It would have been a turnover.
Well, because Mountain View came out acting like they were going to go for it on 4th and 3, and then Wall kicked back about 5-10 yards and punted that. It actually worked out great for Mountain View. Big change of field position here as Rushton on the handoff. This will be the final play of the third quarter. Across the 10, brought down at the 12. So that will conclude things here in the third quarter. Mountain View in control here at home. They lead things 30-7. We'll be right back here on IdahoSports.com. This is Treasure Valley Game Night presented by Mountain West Bank.
No matter what life holds, we'll be there for you. Mountain West Bank. Today, tomorrow, together. High school sports teams are known for their unity. No matter what's happening on the field, they stick together. Players, coaches, students, parents. One big family. That's why Mountain West Bank is so proud to sponsor Idaho high school sports. Today, tomorrow, together.
All right, back here on Treasure Valley Game Night presented by Mountain West Bank. We'll begin the fourth quarter here for Borah. 2nd and 8 from the 11. McCarty going to pass on the screen pass complete to Freeman. He's brought down at the 15. And we have a final, Ryan, from that Eagle-Owyhee game.
Yeah, 27-7. Eagle laid the wood to Owyhee. And we talked about Owyhee being a sneaky good team, and I still think they are. I just think this is more of a product of Eagle kind of coming into their own at this point.
Yeah, I think so too. And, you look at this pod, I think once things evolve a little bit more, I think CUNA could be a sneaky team. But, there's 3 teams that obviously a lot of people have their eye on. Owyhee is one of them. 3rd down, pass caught, 1st down. Jacob Haley, the senior receiver, hauling that one in for Borah. Will be a Lion 1st down. That punt, by the way, Dawson Wall ended up 56 yards.
56 yards. He's a big kid.
Yeah.
Big, strong kid. I was going to say that last play, that was a big-time play. That was legit. You got beyond the sticks. You threw the ball right where it needed to be. That's exactly what you want to do. Very professional type play.
Yeah. 11 minutes to go here in this one. Mountain View in control here. 30-7 our score. Borah with the football as the clock ticks under 11 minutes to play. Borah with 165 yards of total offense. As they run it again here, this is McCarney keeping, and not much real estate there, maybe a yard.
Busted play. They were trying to run that little shovel pass underneath where the running back gets in front of him and he just dishes it forward. But with that errant snap, he had to tuck and run on that.
Brings up a 2nd and 9. Ball at the 25-yard line. McCarney in the shotgun, twins to each side. He'll throw. Here comes the pressure. McCarney is going to go down in the backfield. A big loss on that one. First one up from the pile for Mountain View was Maximus Miley.
Maximus Miley. I think Mason Childs was in on that. Was in on that play. Yeah. They brought the heat. They hadn't blitzed anybody all game. They picked an opportune time to do that. The interior offensive line held up really well, but exterior, they had 4 guys and only 3 blockers.
Yeah. 3rd and long for Borah. They're calling it a 3rd and 19. Under 10 minutes to play, 4th quarter. McCarney in the gun, man in motion. Is Haley coming near the far side? They're going to give it off to Rushton on 3rd and long, and he's across the 20, brought down at the 21. Ball popped out. Mountain View comes out with it. We'll see what the official ruling is, and it is Mountain View football.
It's too bad. That's exactly why he called the run play. You were conceding that you're going to turn the ball over with a punt, but at that point, you turn the ball over exactly where you didn't want to do it. That's too bad. Borah showed a little bit of a spark. I think that fatigue starting to set in a little bit with the bigger, stronger team. A lot of heart. I mean, 30 points is all they've given up at this point.
Yeah.
We'll call it 28 points, right? The safety, that wasn't their fault. But, 28, 30 points at this point. They played pretty hard. We do have almost a full quarter, though. You and I were just commenting how long this game has been. A lot of whistle, a lot of stoppage.
Wyatt Farnsworth, by the way, came away with the fumble for Mountain View. Wall throwing near side. That pass is caught inside the 5. Brought down at the 2. Colin Rogers again. And Rogers almost had his 3rd touchdown of the night. He has just been a red zone weapon tonight for the Mavs.
Yeah, he ran down the sideline and then just settled in a little deeper than normal against the zone. And Wall just zinged it to him. When I say zing, I mean he zipped that sucker to him.
Yeah, that thing was on a rope. Shotgun set for Wall. McGee to his left. Handoff McGee. McGee up the middle. Touchdown Mountain View. This one from 4 yards. It's McGee's 3rd score of the night.
Yeah, and that's that big offensive line leaning on a fatigued, a little smaller defensive line and, taking advantage of a turnover that unfortunately bounced the wrong way for Borah. At this point, obviously, the game getting a little bit out of reach. Borah kind of needs to come back and throw and
Connington on for the extra point here for the Mavs. Snap, hold, and kick, all good.
All good.
And the lead is 30.
Yeah, big. I go back to Mountain View, and I've said it before, this is one of the better venues, environments, ambiances of high school football in the state of Idaho. Even if, Rocky Mountain has a bye this week, and I was talking to some Rocky people, and I said, so what game are you going to? You know what they said? They're going to come to the Mountain View game. They're not going to sit on this side, of course. They're sitting over with Borah. But they really do enjoy, this whole environment and ambiance. Rocky puts on a good show, too. Eagle's a good place. Meridian recently has turned into a pretty good ambiance. So, if you get a chance, I would highly recommend coming out to a Meridian also, but a Mountain View in Meridian, the city of Meridian, a Mountain View football game.
Yeah, it's sort of interesting, right? You have 2 major school districts here in the Boise area. You have Boise schools, who they all play at Donna Larson. Which is owned by Boise State. All the West Ada schools, so you're talking, Mountain View, Meridian, Rocky Mountain, Owyhee, they all have their own facility. They don't share facilities. Yeah,
and it makes a difference, too, because, you look in the locker room, you look at everything. They can haul stuff, store stuff, whatever you want to say, and it makes a difference for the ambiance. And nothing that the kids can do about Donna Larson Park, absolutely nothing, but it is what it is. And when you share and somebody has to play a night game and then a Saturday morning game. And
Thursday games as well.
Games.
And surprise, surprise here, another touchback by Connington, but this one went through the uprights.
I'll tell you what, this he listened. I texted some people on the sideline and said, you got to get on this kid. It's ridiculous. You can't put it in the uprights. This just can't take it anymore.
So Connington perfect on touchbacks here tonight. 9:08 to go in this one. Mountain View leading by 30-7. McGee, 3 scores all on the ground. The running back there for the Mavs from 4, 9, and 1 yards out. Colin Rogers, 2 touchdowns as well through the air from 32 and 27 yards.
And this is a tough spot for, well, it's always a tough spot when you're losing this badly, but this is a tough spot for Borah because at this point, game's basically over. You want to walk away, you want to put your best foot forward, but how much heart do they have and how much do they want to keep playing?
Yeah, right. I mean, this is where you find that out is this is a first down for Borah. Slant pass caught by Trace Freeman. It's a first down as Freeman's had some versatility out of that slot route. They've gone to that slant pattern a couple times here in the second half. It's worked a few times.
Yeah, it's worked really well. In fact, we talked about a professional play. That's a professional-looking play, and it just keeps getting worse.
Disaster here for Borah. The snap is McCarney wasn't looking for it. Has to track that one down. It goes all the way back to the 10. McCarney wasn't even looking for the snap. Came up to make a change at the line of scrimmage. Ball was snapped behind him, and Borah lucky just to retain possession.
Yeah, it kind of looks like they're tapping out at this point. I mean, you got to question a little bit of the you don't question the effort. I mean, they gave it all they had for the first 3 quarters, but after so long and so much going against you, sometimes it gets a little tough to, in this situation, the end of the game, to bring it every game, and the concentration wavers a bit, and errant passes and snaps and whatever else.
Carney back to throw again, dumps this one off. Freeman, far side of the field, across the 20, spins and brought down at the 24. Clock under 8 minutes now.
Still playing, you still got to play the game. And some kids love the game of football, and they want to keep going. Whistle blows at the end of the game, they want to keep playing. And you like to see that, but you also want to see them be safe till the end of the game, too. There's no reason to have any injuries at this point.
Third down coming up for Borah. It's going to be a 3rd and long. 3rd and 32. That's not right. They have 32 up on the 18. There we go.
There we go.
McCarney back to throw. McCarney dumps this one off to Rushton. Still on his feet. Rushton, one of those players still battling hard. Brought down at the 34. Still well short of the first down. It's going to bring up a 4th down.
That was a scary pass. He put some air underneath that, and Rushton had to go up and bring it down. I was a little worried something was going to get tipped or he was going to get popped in the back on that, but fortunately he was able to make the grab, and good hard-fought yards. Just too little too late.
Deontay Cobb back deep to receive this one from Mountain View, standing back at his own 35. Clock under 7 minutes to play now in this one. McCartney's punt spiraling will send Cobb back to the 25. Cobb receives it, trying to reverse field. Cobb has some space down the near sideline, cuts it back on the hash. All kinds of flags. This is going to be a block in the back. A quite obvious one.
Yeah, and that's dangerous, man.
Yeah.
You hate to see that. That's talk about controlling the controllables. I mean, Mountain View is going to get tacked on with another 10 yards, and depending on what it is or what type of penalty they call, it could be 15. But, these are the things you got to clean up. To be a championship contender, you got to clean those types of things up. But how about McClarney? He went down and made the tackle on that.
Right.
Punted it and said, I'm going to take care of this on my own.
It's the second time he's not only punted it, but came up with the tackle on the punt, too.
Kid's a player.
So 2 fouls, both on Mountain View. One is holding, and that's declined. And a personal foul, a blindside block is going to be the call. So block in the back or a blindside block, however you want to call it. One's 10 yards, one's 15. They give him the 15-yard variety.
Yeah, because it was a little dangerous. I mean, the guy came up a bit woozy, and you got to try and prevent that. And I know the Mountain View side. The coaches are good coaches, and they don't teach anything like that. It's just an unfortunate blindside, for lack of better terms.
Yeah. Well, if there's one thing that Mountain View is going to look at this game tape and go, we have to get better at something, it's going to be the penalties. Brian Compton in his first season as head coach for Mountain View, definitely going to address that with his squad this week. 6.5 to go. Mountain View taking the field at their own 18. This one handed off to McGee, and he's going to be stopped in the backfield.
So Borah at this point selling out, saying, fine, we're going to make stops. We're going to make stops. We're going to stop you in the backfield, and it's live and die by the sword at this point, saying we're going to full out, we're going to send it, and we're going to bring everybody's. And I like that. If you get beat, you get beat. Get beat fast, or you make a stand.
Yeah, I like that as well. I mean, there were 10 of the 11 defenders were in the backfield trying to stop McGee on that one. So 2nd and 13 coming up, under 6 minutes to play now. Wall slings this one out near side. It's going to be caught by Rogers. So Colin Rogers, the reception.
It was a little bit, it kind of looked awkward from this position because the tight end, he had the block on that, and he missed it. The guy got past him, he turned around and pushed him as the guy was wrapped up and pushed him for a good 7 yards downfield.
3rd down coming up. It's a 3rd and short. We'll call it 4. As Wall instructs his offensive line on the blocking scheme. Receive the snap, and it's going to be a speed option near side. McGee still on his feet, has the first down a lot more. McGee trying to reverse field to the far side, lost the ball, and that it's still going to be a Mountain View first down, but that was a bit of a crazy play.
Wow, I didn't see that one coming. He lost the ball, he tracked it down, and it just kept bouncing.
Yeah.
And he was the only one tracking it.
Well, McGee came almost all the way to the sideline. Then he kind of reversed field and tried to go all the way back to the near sideline. I don't really think it was a forced fumble. It just kind of fell out of his hand.
Oh, Australian rules football. You seen
Yeah,
that, right?
yeah.
You got to dribble it every so often. Oh, it did go back behind the first down. I actually think they have the wrong ruling on the field, but whatever.
Yeah.
He actually got the first down. You don't mark it. He would have achieved the first down, and then the fumble is where you mark it. Would have been a first down from that position where he recovered it. At least in the NFL, that's how they would measure it.
Well, nevertheless, it's a 4th down here. So under 5 minutes to play. Not that it necessarily matters much as we're under 5 minutes to play with a 30-point game, but. And now whistles. We'll see a flag and a timeout by Mountain View. So no flag. Mountain View uses the timeout.
So great stop by Borah.
Yeah, there you go.
However you get it,
Yeah.
you got the stop.
Right. Yeah, I mean, kind of looking forward for both of these teams. We ran down the schedule a couple times. We'll run it down one more time. Borah next week, home game against Hawaii. They also still have to play Boise, and they'll close the year with Eagle. Mountain View on the other side, their next one, a home game here back at Mountain View next week against Boise. A road game to Kuna on September 30th. You can listen to that one live and free on IdahoSports.com. A road game to Eagle as well on the 7th of October, and they'll close the regular season with a home game at Nampa as the SIC Rivers division starts to take shape a little bit. Eagle already victorious tonight, so Eagle moving to 2-1. Kuna and Nampa playing tonight as well. Nampa sitting at the top of the pod at 2-0. Kuna in 4th, tied for 4th with Hawaii at 1-1. So Hawaii now falls to 1-2 in the pod. Borah, if things hold, will fall to 0-3. Mountain View, if things hold, will move to the top of the standings, at least with Eagle at 2-0. If Nampa holds on in against Kuna today, they'll still be at the top with a 3-0 record as this punt is away. Fair catch made by Borah at the 35. He had to fall forward to catch that one to Detweiler, but he's still able to come up with it. That was Caden Halpin, actually.
Halpin, yeah, and that was a great punt. I mean, I don't know what he was anticipating. I mean, the guy dropped a bomb. It was a good 42-yard punt, and he was sitting back around 50. So high school, you don't really expect that. But, you can see a lot of the talent at a lot of positions for Mountain View, including the punter position. We talked about some of the things you can do to get better, to clean up, and it's got to be the penalties. It looks like Mountain View has sent on a lot of the second string, getting some kids some experience at this point, basically protecting your starters.
Yeah, and that's something you can obviously do. 4.5 to go in this one is the lead 30 for Mountain View. As Borah will take over at their own 33. Back to Rushton on the ground, working the far hash across the 35. The pile starts at the 37. And he's brought down for a gain of about 5.
So you want to talk a little NCAA football at this point?
Let's do it.
All right, you talk to me. You go. Let's talk. So big games.
Right.
We have BYU, Oregon. That's the number 12 BYU at Oregon.
Yeah.
Oregon's a 3.5 point favorite because it is at Autzen Stadium. I've been there.
I'm going there in October.
You're going there.
Yeah.
It's a cool experience. Yeah, it really is a great experience. I don't necessarily agree with that. I mean, after how Oregon showed up against the NFL team, the Georgia Bulldogs, I don't know if I agree with that 3.5, but they're calling it because of Autzen Stadium.
Right. Screen pass to the far side for Borah, loses a yard, so 3rd down and 6 coming up for the Lions. 3.5 to play here in the Valley. Boise State home opener tomorrow against UT Martin. Don't know the line, but I would guess Boise State heavily favored in that one.
Boise State by $1.3 billion is what it is.
No, and I'll bet Boise.
I'll take Boise to cover.
Yeah.
Although Boise has a little bit of a quarterback identity problem at this point. I know Bachmeier showed up, but he's been sporadic at this point. Boise has feels like they're still kind of going through some growing pains with Avalos at the head coaching position.
Sure. Yeah, Freeman caught that one on the slant route again for Borah on that 3rd down. It's a 1st down for the Lions across the 50 to the 48.
Yeah, so Boise's a 22-point favorite.
Okay. McCarney back to pass. He's looking far side. Zips this one down. It's caught by Haley to the 15.
Woo, big time throw rolling to his left. The difference this time is that he squared his shoulders up, took a step towards the line of scrimmage, threw off balance off his off foot, and he put it on a rope. I mean, that thing wheeled in there.
Yeah.
The receiver probably heard the whistling of the seams on that one. That was a beautiful throw.
2.5 to play. His speed option this time. McCarney really nowhere to go. Has to pitch this one. They're pinned against the sideline. This one is going to lose yardage.
Yeah, so you're from you said you're from Fort Collins, right?
Fort Collins.
The shadow of Colorado State. They have a sneaky, weird Washington State team. They're going up to Wazoo to play.
They lost to Middle Tennessee last week.
Yeah. Weird.
I'm going to take the Cougs.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Cougs. I mean, they're a 16.5-point favorite on that one.
2 minutes to play. McCarney back to pass. Has time over the middle. This pass is caught by Haley once again. Short of the 1st down, but he's inside the 10. 3rd down coming up.
A fun one out here that you can see is Texas Tech at North Carolina State. They have NC State by 10, but Texas Tech actually beat somebody last week. We can find out who it was, and it was a fun walk-off.
3rd down and about 3. 1:40 left to go in this one. McCarney has time. End zone intercepted.
What a tough way to end the night.
Yeah. Braden Edwards coming up with the interception for the Mavs in the back of the end zone. The Mavs coming up with another turnover, and with 1:32 left to go in this one, and that is about all she wrote here tonight.
Yeah, all she wrote. And it's tough, too, because you look at the junior McCarney getting out there, and he absolutely throws a dime on the run, one of the most beautiful throws you'll see at the high school level. And then he turns around and throws an ill-advised crossing route at the back of the end zone. And it's kind of what you get when you get this quarterback that's learning. It's his first year starting, isn't it? I believe it's his first year starting at quarterback.
He may have started last year.
Did he?
I think so.
Whatever. It's his first year really stepping up and Borah being this type of competitive team. But, it's unfortunate that he does something like that because you see so much potential in him. He has good arm talent.
This Borah offense has shown flashes.
Flashes. That's a good way to look at it.
Then, they had a nice drive at the end of the half, couldn't come away with any points. And then they put together a nice drive here as Mountain View takes over, whistles another Mountain View penalty. They are going to address that this week.
Well, you do have your sophomores playing at this point. But still.
A lot of penalties.
So, Texas Tech beat Houston, a ranked Houston team.
Okay.
Last week. I'm trying to find some.
Houston, a school that's going to be coming to the Blue here in a couple years. As a member of the Big 12, 24, I believe.
Well, why Blue?
The Blue, Albertson Stadium.
Yeah, but Boise State's still in the Mountain West.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows? I think they were in the American when they scheduled it.
No.
I don't know. They were supposed to play Michigan State tomorrow, too. So,
who
knows? We'll see.
Yeah. Who knows what's going on?
Right. Right.
Another fun one. Actually, I did see a little bit of coverage on this. Michigan State versus Washington, and that one's up in Seattle.
That should be a good one.
Yeah. Number 11, Michigan State.
Under a minute to play now here from Mountain View, as the Mavs is bleeding the rest of this clock out here tonight. Second and long, back to the ground game. Coming to the near side as Mountain View has some of the second teamers in. The handoff went to Kelton Richmond. Third down coming up, and maybe one more play here tonight, 34 seconds to go.
Yeah, one more play. Hey, a lot of heart on the Borah side. I got to hand it to them. You know, they did some things really well. They have some building pieces, right? Some positives that you can build off as a coach. You know, overall, I hate to lose like you did at this point, but I think we kind of saw this coming to that, but they did a good job keeping staunch in the flow.
Yeah. Clock down to 12 seconds. Mountain View's got to run one more play. Here it is. Back to the grounds, and that will wrap things up as they go back on the ground to Richmond, and that will do it here from Mountain View. The Mavs, a decisive victory here at home. They win this one 37-7 over Borah. Mountain View improving to 2-2 overall. They improved to 2-0 in the SIC Rivers Division. Come back for the post-game show and award our IdahoSports.com player of the game right after this.
High school sports teams are known for their unity. No matter what's happening on the field, they stick together. Players, coaches, students, parents. One big family. That's why Mountain West Bank is so proud to sponsor Idaho high school sports. Today, tomorrow, together.
My name's Tyler. I'm a pharmacist, and I live in Caldwell. A reason why I got vaccinated is because I wasn't just thinking about me and my health, is others around me. I'm a father, husband. I want to be there for my family. And then the other main choice is because of my parents are still alive, gratefully. They're both in their late 70s, both have major health conditions, and I wanted to protect them, so I chose to get the vaccine right away.
Final score here from Meridian here at Mountain View High. The Mavs of Mountain View 37 and Borah Lions 7. A decisive victory here at home for Mountain View, and maybe a win that gets things going back on the right track for Mountain View. The team that's ranked 4th in the state media poll entering tonight improves to 2-2 overall, 2-0 in SIC play. Borah, on the other hand, falling to 0-3 in SIC Rivers Division play. They will fall to 2-3 overall.
Yeah, 2-3 overall. But this is a hardy team. You know, this is a Borah team that showed a lot of heart. They lack kind of that top end explosiveness, but they've shown that they can move the ball. They had a really good couple drives there where they were organically moving the ball, not with just penalties, and those are the types of plays they need to build off of, running some of those slant routes, mixing up some of the play action along the way. And if they can continue to do that, I think that you can see this team growing as the season goes on. That being said, they are in a tough position to maybe fight for a playoff position, but a lot to be desired, but also showed some flashes of goodness, if you will, on their side. But as for Mountain View, you look at a team that is potential. You look at the 2 losses to 2 of the top 3 teams in the state, and they showed why. They did leave a lot. I think they left points on the board, meat on the bone, so to speak, with penalties and some sloppy play here and there. But I think overall you got to be pleased if you're the coach. You showed a lot of flashes and some big time and quick scoring ability.
Yeah, I think really this is kind of the perfect week for Mountain View. You get not only a win, but you get a good win at home. You beat one of the teams in your division. You beat them pretty good. You beat them by 30 points, but you can go back to the game tape on Monday and look at these kids and go, hey, we are not where we need to be, of where we want to go. If we want to come back and beat Meridian and Rocky when it matters, whether that's the SIC championship or whether that's in the state playoffs, if we want to come back and beat them in a game like that, we have a long ways to go.
Yeah, and they still have, and there's a good litmus test at the end of the regular season is when they play Eagle, and that'll tell them a lot of where they are, because Eagle is a flashy potential team that can put points on the board as they're starting to come into their own right now. And I think that if you're Mountain View, you play for that game. You circle it, and you build up to that game, and you clean up the penalties and say, we get through that one, and we head into the playoffs with a head of steam. We're going to be tough to beat.
Yep, absolutely. All right, one thing left to do here tonight. Let's award our IdahoSports.com player of the game. Who you got?
Yeah, I have the senior wide receiver, number 10, Colin Rogers, a 5'11", 160-pound receiver. Showed a ton of heart, and he did it all kinds of ways from the receiver position. Caught some long touchdown passes, but he also had him blocking downfield and creating lanes and whatnot for the rest of his team. He did a phenomenal job, and he's our IdahoSports.com player of the game.
There you have it. So your final score, once again, Mountain View 37, Borah 7. This has been an IdahoSports.com GameStreams production of Treasure Valley Game Night, presented by Mountain West Bank and our major advertising partners, Project Filter, Valley-Wide Cooperative, the Idaho Transportation Department, the Idaho Department of Health and Welfare, Next Steps Idaho, and your local Toyota dealer. Don't want to forget about our power boosters as well. They're the College of Idaho, Evade Pest Management, Big Judd's in Meridian, Pacific Residential Mortgage, Metro Appraisals, and Meridian Plumbing. Special thanks to Scott Dew and everyone here at Mountain View High School for their hospitality and getting these games broadcast to you, the viewer. Congratulations once again to Colin Rogers, our IdahoSports.com player of the game. Your final score one more time, Mountain View 37, Borah 7. For my broadcast partner, Ryan Luke, my name is Lucas Gephardt, and we will see you next week.
This has been a presentation of IdahoSports.com GameStreams. This broadcast is